Alright. I'll see you guys. Thank you for playing with me.
Alright. Alright, catch you later.
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 Bruh.
Alright. Alright, back to the space news. But I'm going to take a quick break. Space and rocket. Jesus, that's a lot of links. Cheese and rice. I'm going to make pizza. Want any? No. I got to clean up these links. It's a really nice picture of Falcon 9 from yesterday. That's cool. All right, sweet. Let's put on a video here, and we'll go from there. Let me find one. You guys want to learn about diesel engine governors? I think this is very outdated. You guys want to learn about old diesel engine governors? All right, cool. Let's do it. I'll be back in a little bit. Enjoy the show.
If a diesel engine is to be operated within a certain speed range and under varying loads, a mechanical device is required to control the amount of fuel injected. This device is called a governor. The speed of a diesel engine depends on two factors: the amount of fuel injected into the cylinders and the load under which the engine works.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Suppose, for example, that the engine is running at a certain speed. If the load is increased, the engine slows down. If, on the other hand, the load should decrease with no change in the amount of fuel injected, the engine speeds up. By regulating the amount of fuel injected, the engine speed may be kept within a certain range. To do this, various types of governors have been developed. Most governors operate on the principle of centrifugal force. Centrifugal force is the tendency of an object, when traveling in a circular path, to move away from its axis of rotation. These rotating weights are affected by this force. As the speed is increased, centrifugal force grows stronger, pushing the weights further away from their rotational axis. The distance from this axis is proportional to the speed of rotation. One type of governor is the overspeed governor. It acts merely as a safety device and keeps the engine from overspeeding or racing. The basis of the overspeed governor is a pair of flyweights mounted on the drive shaft. The outward motion of the flyweights is transmitted to a collar which slides on the shaft. The movement of this collar actuates a linkage to the fuel pump controls. A spring presses upward against the collar. As the engine operates at normal speed, the flyweights tend to move outward. This movement, however, is retarded by the spring. But should the engine speed increase to a point where the safe speed limit is exceeded, the centrifugal force of the flyweights becomes great enough to depress the spring. This actuates the linkage to the fuel pump control, reducing the amount of fuel injected, and a decrease in engine speed results. Thus, the overspeed governor serves as a safety device in preventing the diesel engine from overspeeding. One design of overspeed governor, called the overspeed trip, is sometimes used to stop the engine completely when a safe speed is exceeded. This type of overspeed trip has only one flyweight, also working on the principle of centrifugal force. While the engine operates at a safe speed, the rotating flyweight is held close to the drive shaft by a spring. As soon as the engine overspeeds, the flyweight moves outward and trips a latch. This causes the fuel supply to the injection valves to be shut off, and the engine stops. Let us repeat the action of this mechanism step by step. The flyweight is held to the drive shaft by a spring. When the engine overspeeds, centrifugal force overcomes the resistance of this spring, and the flyweight moves away from the shaft. In this position, the rotating flyweight trips the latch, which releases the spring-loaded plunger. The plunger pushes against the fuel cutout lever, which in turn moves the fuel pump control to the no injection position, and the engine stops. Before the engine can be started again, the latch and the fuel pump must be reset. This is done by this reset arm, which is mounted on the reset lever shaft. The fuel cutout cam, mounted on the control shaft of the engine, is used when stopping the engine by hand. When the starting lever of the engine is moved to the stop position, the cam turns the cutout lever, shutting off the fuel pumps. The regulating governor not only keeps the engine from overspeeding, but maintains the engine's speed at a fixed rate despite changes in load. In this governor, the flyweights are linked hydraulically to the fuel control assembly. This assembly consists basically of a piston connected to the fuel system controls, a housing, and a spring. The downward pressure of the spring is balanced by oil pressure on the lower side of the piston. The amount of oil in this space is regulated by a valve called the pilot valve, controlled by the flyweights. When the engine is running at a set speed, the port to the power cylinder is covered by the pilot valve plunger. The plunger is held in this position by the flyweights. If the engine load decreases, however, the engine speeds up, and the additional centrifugal force throws the flyweights outward, raising the pilot valve plunger. This opens the port, and oil from the power cylinder is now allowed to flow through the pilot valve cylinder into a drainage passage to the oil sump. The power spring forces the piston down, actuating the linkage to the fuel system controls, and the supply of fuel to the engine cylinders is diminished. As the engine speed returns to the set rate, the flyweights resume their original position, and the pilot valve plunger again covers the port. If the load increases, the engine slows down, and the flyweights move inward. This lowers the pilot valve plunger, allowing oil to flow through the pilot valve chamber to the power cylinder. This oil, supplied by a pump, is under a pressure sufficiently high to overcome the pressure of the power spring. The power piston moves upward, increasing the amount of fuel injected into the cylinders. Once again, as the speed returns to the set rate, the flyweights resume their central position. The gear pump, which supplies the high-pressure oil, is driven from the governor drive shaft and takes suction from the governor oil sump. A spring-loaded accumulator maintains a constant head of oil and allows excess oil to return to the sump. To increase the regulating governor's sensitivity and to prevent overcorrection, a compensating mechanism is used. This allows the pilot valve port to remain open just long enough for the engine speed to return to the set rate. A compensating plunger on the power piston shaft moves in a cylinder which is also filled with oil. When the engine speed increases and the power piston moves downward, the compensating plunger is also carried down, drawing oil from a cylinder below the pilot valve bushing. This creates a suction above the receiving compensating plunger, which is part of the bushing. The bushing moves upward, closing the port to the power piston. Thus, the power piston is stopped, allowing no time for overcorrection. As the fly weights and pilot valve return to their central position, oil flowing through a needle valve allows the compensating spring to return the pilot valve bushing to its central position.
Go at throttle up.
To keep the port closed, the bushing and plunger must descend at exactly the same speed. Therefore, the needle valve must be adjusted so that the oil passes through at the required rate for the particular engine. When the engine speed drops below the set rate, the actuating compensating plunger moves upward with the power piston. This increases the oil pressure above the receiving compensating plunger, which therefore moves down, carrying with it the pilot valve bushing. As before, the port leading to the power cylinder is closed. The excess oil in the compensating system now drains out through the needle valve as the spring returns the bushing to its central position. The governed speed of the engine is set by changing the tension of the speed adjusting spring. The pressure of this spring determines the engine speed necessary for the flyweights to maintain their central position. Oil, allowed to leak past the various plungers for lubrication purposes, is drained into the governor oil sump. These are the basic elements of this type of regulating governor. In actual operation, the events which we have seen step by step take place almost simultaneously. Let us review the operation of the governor in maintaining the engine speed under a suddenly increased load. The engine speed drops and the flyweights move inward, lowering the pilot valve plunger. Oil from the gear pump and the accumulator forces the power piston upward, increasing the amount of fuel injected into the engine cylinders. In the meantime, the pilot valve bushing has moved downward, closing the port in the pilot valve. As the engine speed returns to normal, the flyweights and the pilot valve plunger and bushing return to their central position. Now, if the load suddenly decreases and the engine starts to race, the flyweights move outward, lifting the pilot valve plunger. Oil drains from the power cylinder, allowing the power piston to move the fuel control, decreasing the amount of fuel injected. In the meantime, the pilot valve bushing has moved upward, closing the port in the pilot valve. As the engine speed returns to normal, the flyweights and the plunger and bushing again resume their central position. Always keep the governor clean and keep it free from dirty lubricating oil. Flush it out every 2 weeks with clean fuel oil. Flush it out every 6 months with carbon tetrachloride. Refill it with lubricating oil of the viscosity specified by the operator's manual. Be sure that the oil is always at the proper level, keeping it above 5/8 of an inch in the gauge glass. Never tamper with the governor unless you are positive that there is some trouble with it. And even then, all repairs should be made only by an experienced operator.
horsepower. Horses have always been the symbol of power. Of course, the power of different horses varies a great deal. The amount and the kind of power depend on the breed of the horse. The polo pony, for example, must be compact, responsive to his rider's lightest touch. His power is used for quick starting and stopping. The Irish hunter is rangy. His strength is in his legs for the reserve power to leap over fences and ditches in cross-country rides. The hard-working Mustang or cow pony is clever and sure-footed, with plenty of stamina to survive the hardships of dangerous trails. The fiery Arab stallion is bred with the courage and endurance for wild rides across baking sands. In the thoroughbred racehorse, every line of bone and muscle shows the result of generations of breeding for speed, while the massive draft horses have been bred for strength and immense pulling power. The mighty muscles of the horse have made him a friend and servant to man in his development and progress. Back in 1769, in England, English mine operators were using the power furnished by horses to pump water from flooded mines. Mine owners naturally thought in terms of the number of horses needed to do a certain amount of work. When James Watt invented a mechanical substitute for the power of horses in 1769, he wanted to know how much work it would do in comparison with a horse. So he and his assistant, William Murdoch, performed many experiments under various conditions, measuring the ability of different horses to raise heavy stone weights from a stone quarry pit. They found that the average horse, under average conditions, exerts the amount of power which would raise 550 pounds a distance of 1 foot in 1 second. Working continuously for 1 minute, the same power could move a total of 33,000 pounds a distance of 1 foot. Watt took this figure as a unit and called it 1 horsepower. The horsepower unit proved very useful. Watt was able to tell mine owners and businessmen exactly what size engine would be needed to replace the horses they'd been using. When the use of mechanical power became more general, Watt's horsepower unit was kept as a standard for estimating and comparing power. We can measure any energy in terms of horsepower. For example, it would take about 3 million ants to develop the power of a single horse. Sturdy legs and a strong back give the coolie more strength than the average human being. Yet, in action, he develops only 1/5 of a horsepower. While the elephant, having the advantage of his great size and huge muscles, can perform complicated tasks with the strength of 5 horses. As the needs of civilization have increased, gradually, machines have taken the place of muscles to develop power. Today, man gets power from many sources: the power of steam, the power of water and electricity, and the power of the internal combustion engine. As engines developed by man have grown more powerful, they have grown more compact. This perfect miniature engine has 4 cylinders, but it develops only 1 horsepower. On the other hand, the largest and most powerful internal combustion engines in the world, located at a power plant in Chicago, have only 4 cylinders apiece. But each of these giants drives a dynamo which generates enough electricity to do the work of 10,000 horses. It isn't a number of cylinders. It is the size and design that is important. In an automobile engine, likewise, there are many factors that control the amount and the kind of power. Feature by feature, part by part, cylinder by cylinder, the horsepower of automobile engines has been increased. Power and economy in the modern automobile engine result from the careful design of many features. The carburetor is designed to handle the gasoline efficiently and accurately to get the greatest advantage from the fuel. Intake manifold passages and valve openings are designed to supply quick reserves of power with economy. Precision-fitted pistons give stamina and durability. The cooling system keeps the engine operating at a constant temperature, developing full power at all times and under all weather conditions. Every part has been designed with maximum strength for rugged, constant power, while friction-removing bearings and special lubrication permit sustained high speeds. The valve-in-head design has brought to the motor car the same flashing power that brings the thrill to riding in a speedboat, the same dependable power that is so vital in an air transport, combined with the maximum efficiency of the racing car, getting the last drop of energy out of a drop of gasoline. The modern motor car has these same features of design for extra power under all conditions of weather and road. Few people realize the great amount of power that travels with them under the hood of their automobile, theirs to control wisely and safely. Almost every family can have at its individual command the strength of 85 horses, eager and willing to respond, 85 horsepower, flowing smoothly at the touch of the accelerator.
Hey man, 85 horsepower is not bad for 1937. That's pretty friggin' good, actually. And keep in mind that horsepower doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't have a lot of torque. Did you see what that car did in the scene before that? You see it go over those dunes? Just keep in mind. All right, here, I'll show you. Let's go back over here. It's talking about the speedboat. There's the racing car. The racing car, the air transport. Look it. If they have an inline six that's only making... If they have an inline six that's, with its displacement, I don't know, like 3-4 liters, something like that, that thing probably makes a lot of torque. I mean, it certainly makes enough torque to move that freaking metal box over some sand. But think about that. 85 horsepower for 1937. That's pretty freaking good. It wasn't until very recently that cars started coming out with like 300 horsepower out of the box. 300 horsepower out of the box wasn't always... That was like a performance car back in the day. Even up into the 90s, Hondas came pretty much standard with D16 engines that made 85 horsepower. You know? Chevy was doing that in the 30s. So was Ford, to be honest. Yeah. But what about when that VTEC just kicked in? D16 doesn't have VTEC. There was a variant that had VTEC, but yeah. I bet it actually only weighs 3,000 pounds. Yeah, they're body on chassis plums. I don't think that those ones, they're pretty heavy. FYI, I just threw Downtown Abbey on Plex if Primo wants to watch it there. Oh, right. All right, cool. Thanks, man. Well, yeah. I mean, you know, when you put it like that, though, like when you think about it, 85 horses, that's a lot. It can pull a lot of stuff. Fox bodies only had up to 225. That was a lot due to emissions. Yeah, but they made 300 foot-pounds of torque out of the box. Skeptical. Those 5.0s, man. Windsor motors, you know? Like, when you think about it, like 85 horses, that's a lot. That's a lot of horses. What am I looking at, Sawyer? What the hell happened here? Oh. Yeah, there you go, Racer, right? Indeed. I don't know how a connecting rod can shear like that without destroying the rest of the engine. Yeah, she's hurting a little bit. Are we rally racing in MSC? I don't think we're gonna hit the rally race tonight, but soon. Oh, it's a hydrolock. I was gonna say, because that looks like shearing. Yeah, yeah. That looks like a shear force. You can see how the burr, there's a burr on one side. So that means the connecting rod went like that. Do you want links? I got links. Jesus, man. Alright, well, let's get into the space news then. Swishio, I'm pretty sure that one of those is not a space news link. Pretty sure one of those has nothing to do with space. That entire piston assembly needs to be replaced. Well, yeah, I mean, if you... The quick fix there, Firework, would be to just put a new connecting rod in there. But, I mean, with new motors, man, you don't know what the hell else you're gonna screw up. This is the difference between the old stuff and the new stuff. With the old stuff, you probably put a new connecting rod in there and it probably would be fine. The tolerances on old motors are much higher. Much higher. They're overbuilt on purpose. Mostly because we didn't really know any better. These newer engines that were designed like on a computer, man, you have tolerances that are like aerospace grade tolerances, especially with modern engines. Like, there's a lot of tolerance. You're more a rocket scientist than anything, right? So, dude, who knows what else went out of whack from that piston cracking and that thing flopping around in there. The rest of the motor is fine. Like, nothing else is bent or anything. It's a 97 4-liter. Oh. It's a 4.0. Oh, yeah. Yeah, just replace the connecting rod. It's fine. Yeah, that 4-liter engine is one of those older engines, man. Yeah, if that's a Jeep 4-liter, yeah. Replace the connecting rod. You're fine. Just pop the piston out, replace the rod, right? Put a new wrist pin in, and just go. That motor will be just fine. Heck, you could probably just take the damn thing out. You could take the connecting rod out. And just take the connecting rod out and leave the piston in there, and it'd probably work just fine. Jeeps will run on 5 cylinders. It's no problem. Dude, 4-hour-long classes are brutal. Engine died on sheer force. Nothing was whacked around. Yeah, so Sawyer, it's fine. I mean, Jeep 4-liters are unkillable. Unkillable. You cannot... No. They're unkillable. You just... Those engines, I've seen them run firsthand on no oil. Runs just fine. Wouldn't even noticed. I mean, that's pretty damn impressive. The thing ran on like vapor, like oil vapor. It is one of the best engines ever designed. Toyota on Moon, all about Japan's space vehicle that aims to explore the lunar surface. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we covered this for Space News a long time ago. Is there any update to it, Sun Temple? Unless you do that, well, I'm sure... I'll bet you just from hydrolocking it, dude, I'll bet you it still ran. I'll bet you that thing still ran. I bet you it ran on 5. It just probably went... probably made a little bit of a noise. To say the least. Alright, the ULA views I already have. There's that. There's that. Alright. There's some news from James Webb. I already have that. There's Orbex. Okay, let's see what they're up to. Okay, I gotta get all these. Gotta get all this kind of. There's some news from Insight. There's a lot of links. Alright, and then I'll try to group the Starship stuff at the end. I have to apologize for misspeaking earlier. It's not a Chicago town pizza. It's a Goodfellas, and it's cooking now. That better be the brand name. That's all I'm saying. That better be the brand name of the pizza. I was going to say Goodfellas Pizza. Goodfellas implies wise guys. That's New York. That's Chicago. See last. Just wanted to confirm you have this link for space news. Yeah. Yes, I do. Oh no, I X'd out of it. There we go. I had it. Well, I already kind of talked about it a little bit, but yeah. It's a New York style pizza. Oh, okay. Is it thin or is it thick? This is important.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Okay, I got that already. Thin, New York style. Okay. That goes over there. That goes over there. All right. I think we're all clean. All right, let's go. So, let's start here. I'm going to start us off with some footage from the L-87 mission yesterday. You guys will probably appreciate it, so. And right when I start, there's an Elon tweet, okay? Will there be a full stack for the presentation? Yes. Okay. I will just add that into my links of things here. Okay. All right, here. Start the space news. Here we go. Whoop. All right. SpaceX released this drone footage from yesterday, from yesterday's launch, and then there's also this. They can't stack with the crane anymore, right? What crane? The crane that stacked previously is not there anymore. Link it? Sure. Man. That's pretty cool. There's the processing stool right there. Now they have a nicely swept landing pad. Yeah, right? Damn, that's cool. She's dirty now. It's an expensive way to dry concrete. You're right. Dude, that I can't believe that. You know what? You know what's bizarre about this? No one has done this. Still, no one has done this. SpaceX landed their first booster in 2015. No one's done it. No one's even gotten close. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people aren't trying. I get it. But you'd think after 7 years, it's closer to 6, but no one's... Well, yeah, there's Blue, but I'm talking about like an orbital class rocket, guys. I'm talking about like... And don't get me wrong, New Shepard is a great piece of equipment. That thing's really cool. No one's come close to doing what Falcon 9 does. Like, deliver a payload and then come back down, you know? And don't get me wrong, New Shepard's amazing, and I'm not trying to discount that. I'm talking about, like, orbital. You'd think that, you know, somebody would have came along somewhere. Another company, Boeing, Lockheed, somebody. You know, maybe the Chinese, the Russians, the Europeans, another, you know, anyone would have come around and said, oh, you know, let's do this too. No, no one. Yeah, testing. Sure. I didn't say testing, fellas. No one's ever done, no one, like on an orbital class vehicle. Nobody's done it. Rocket Lab is the closest. And even then, their boosters don't propulsively land. No one needs it. Yeah, suppose. Yeah, that's pretty neat. They would do it when it pays big dividends to the bottom line. Yeah, Daniel, I suppose. Well, that's gonna be people's undoing. I mean, you know, everybody for a long time, everybody was like, "Oh, you know, why do I need a car? My horse and buggy work just fine." Okay. No, there's no money. You'll never make money selling cars. Said that about 120 years ago. Oops. You know, of course. It leads me to something. Like, everybody's like, you know, nobody makes another space shuttle, right? Nobody makes another space shuttle because, oh, there's no profitability. Profit off. Well, how the hell do you know? How can you be so sure? Everybody said reusing boosters wasn't, you know, oh, there's profitability. You know, it won't work. You'll never do it. And okay. And now everybody wants to do, you know, everybody's like, oh, we'll reuse this, we'll reuse that, you know. Even NASA, after the shuttle, they're like, oh, we'll reuse components from Artemis 1 on Artemis 2. And don't get me wrong, they were going to do that anyway, but the space shuttle only flew for about 20 years. 1981 to 2011 is not 20 years. $30 years. There you go. But yeah, no, it's pretty damn impressive. And it's impressive that nobody's been able to do it. Nobody's been able to match it. Anyway, we got some other news here. This is coming from local news out in Arizona. Here, check this out.
It was a
Here, check this out. Ready?
3-week, 1,400-mile journey to Oklahoma City. But finally, this decommissioned B-52 bomber will call this hangar in Oklahoma City home.
Gives us a quick chance to get onto an aircraft rather than going out to Barksdale, taking something out of the field, out of operational capability.
This specific B-52 will be the prototype to upgrade other aircraft over the next 30 years.
The B-52 is undergoing the biggest modernization in its history.
Everything from new engines, radar, and a communications command center.
This is not your granddad's buff.
It's part of a push by the U.S. Air Force to revamp rather than start over from scratch.
All of the Center for Design Work, management of the projects, as well as the installation of the efforts will be done right here in the local area to support this aircraft flying to 2050 and beyond.
We're told there are 76 B-52s still in service for the U.S. Air Force. The first B-52 took flight almost 70 years ago in 1952.
This fuselage actually represents a lot of the history from the Air Force.
Zach Rael, KOCO.
Oh, dude, no, don't cut the cast. I wanted to hear what that guy was saying. They cut him off. Oh, that's cool. Damage Incorporated. Shows a picture of the Grim Reaper blowing up the North Pole. Nuke the poles, baby. That's cool, man. There's a second video below this one that's cool, too. Oh, all right.
Parked on a side ride in Purcell, a 40-year-old B-52 bomber catching the eyes of those driving by, but one man in particular.
Oh, when I was driving by.
Dude, sack hat.
Oh, wow, a B-52. I know that airplane.
Yeah.
Jack Hood hasn't seen the damage since 1980. But after randomly spotting the aircraft, the U.S. Air Force vet showed his grandkids the exact B-52 he worked on during his service.
It was quite a surprise when I came down the road and saw that nose sticking there. I thought, oh man, it was exciting to see it.
That's cool.
I was taking my granddaughter around to every panel that we had equipment under. I said, oh, here is where this is, and oh, this is where the antennas were. And
this 150,000-pound aircraft will reach its final destination in Oklahoma City Saturday, but in the meantime making one final pit stop, allowing veterans to see a piece of history on the move. This bomber will be the prototype to upgrade the entire fleet of B-52s over the next 30
McDonald's and B-52s. Oh, I love it. This is great.
years. A push to revamp rather than build new aircrafts from the ground up. Vets say they're just great
Hell
to
yeah.
see a familiar face one more.
Wait. What does that shirt say? Nobody cares about your stick figure family. Yes! Yes! Amazing! Is that the dude's shirt? That's awesome! Yes! Awesome! No one cares about your stick figure family. Shows a B-52 carpet bombing the stick figures. Oh my god. I love this country. This is the best. That's the funniest thing ever. That made the news too. This was on the news. Amazing. Does a B-52 do in-air refueling? Absolutely. Oh yeah. What made the news? Shortline. Look at homeboy's shirt right there. No one cares about your stick figure family. Thank you, Brimo. Oh my god, that's funny. Wait, Thomas, hold on. I thought that was just us. Do people really put those on their cars over there too? They put that on their cars. They have a bunch of stick figures on the back windshield to show that each member of the family. Do they do that over there? Don't tell me they do that over there too. Yes, they do. In Germany, they do? Really? I've only seen those in the UK. I'm having a raspberry. I want to try it. Go ahead, Bree. Dude, I want that. I want that shirt. That shirt's amazing. Dude, I don't care. You want to put stick figures on the back of your windshield, I don't care. I just think the shirt's funny, and I think it's even funnier that it's on the news. Oh my god. Yeah, Duff, I know what you mean. Oh, hold on.
Time.
Let's see the buff.
It was like a old friend that I helped keep in the air.
Oh, hell yeah. Look at that thing.
This is one of the old birds that brings back all those memories.
Can't mix sound. Local news. Oh man, that thing is cool. That's cool that guy actually worked on that plane, and he has a sack hat too. That's awesome. I'd probably go and be like, "Hey, kid, you want to tell me about this? You want to tell me about this plane?" You know? He'd probably be like, "Hell yeah, I do." Why does the B-52 have 4 wheels, Supercraft? Okay. Let's look at a B-52 then. Let's think about it. All right. So the B-52 has 2 sets of bogies in the front and in the back, right? Why would you do that? Why? Let's think. Not why did they do that? What are they trying to do? What are you trying to do here? Yeah, that's right, Kuro. So, where do landing gear on planes usually end up? Well, your landing gear usually ends up just behind your center of mass, so you can tilt the nose up when you go to land, right? This guy has, yeah, the B-52 has little guys on the wings because the wings actually flex. It turns out putting 8 engines on your wings is heavy. And it can carry munitions on the wings, too. Sea last for the F-250. Oh, fantastic. Nobody cares about your stick figure family. It's so funny. So, your landing gears should just be behind your center of mass. So where's the center of mass of this? Right here. But putting landing gear right where my mouse cursor is usually isn't that good of an idea. Why is it not a good idea? Well, let me put it to you like this. There's another thing there that the B designation for the plane indicates, and it indicates why the landing gear isn't there. Bombs. Lots of them. The B-52 has 2 payload bays. There's one here and there's one here. There's 2 of them. Why? Why 2 payload bays? Well, if you have symmetrical loads in both payload bays, if you drop both payload bays at the same time, your center of mass doesn't change. You don't want to put the bomb bay up at the front and then drop all the payload and then your center of mass goes backwards and the plane flips out of control, right? So you can't put it there. You can't put landing gear there either because it would screw up your bomb bays. Bomb bays have to be close to the center of mass because when you drop all the bombs, right, you don't want that center of mass moving. It's just going to move up, which means the plane will just go up because it's less heavy, generating the same amount of lift. That's why it has 8 engines. It can move 31,000 kilograms up to 50,000 feet. 70,000 pound bomb bay. It's a lot of firepower. It can carry, I think it can carry 2 nukes in each bay if I'm or 2 nukes total, 1 in each bay if I'm remembering right. But long story short, the landing gear is there. 1, because the plane's heavy with all those bombs, so you need a lot of big landing gear. And 2, you can't put it right there. Can't put it right there. It's not going to work. That won't work very well putting it right there. Was it the B-2 or the B-52 that had to have the bomb bay sectioned off per one of those nuke reduction treaties? I think it was the B-52. So, that's why the landing gear are front and back. Because you can't put them right there. There's something else needs to go there that the plane's kind of important and used a lot with. It's kind of important. Another fun fact about the B-52, if anybody else wants to know, it's a double-decker. There's another flight deck down here. That's where a bunch of the other guy, like I think it's a weapons officer and radar and everything else. It's not just you're not just here. There's another place down here. Why is the engine forward instead of under the wing? Most engines are hanging in front of the wing, Sun Temple. Go look again. Most engines are hanging underneath the wing. And where are the fuel tanks? In the wings. And there's a tail gunner spot for the B-52 as well, but that hasn't been used in a long time. Why is there a smaller wheel on the wing? Because when the plane lands, the wings droop down. Yeah, the B-52's wings bend. You could see them. You could see the wing bending in this picture. So when it lands, the wings, and then those gear end up touching the ground. Here, if we go find a picture of a B-52 sitting on the ramp, right, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Look at the wings. The wings are designed to flex. 2 B-52 is the most cramped place ever. Room for one person to lie down on the walkway towards the ladder to the cockpit. Oh, interesting, Doom. And yeah, the B-52s are going to be flying for a long time. That's what it can carry. Everything that it could carry is right there. We can carry a lot of stuff. Yeah, and it has attachable pylons so you can put more things on the wings. It's pretty ridiculous. You can even put spacecraft on the wings too if you want. They did that once. There's a good picture. Turns out they're super useful as a high altitude test bed. The rotary launchers are cool, Doom. The rotisseries. Yep. It's a cool design. It's basically the culmination of World War II. World War II design, like it's basically it. Oh, there's another thing I forgot to tell you guys about, and that the diagram actually, in the diagram that's in Russian, which is funny. Yeah. So the guys that are sitting back here, so the B-52 has ejector seats for the pilot and the co-pilot, and these guys too. But there's more guys down here. Those guys eject downwards. Oh yeah, drop pod style. That's cool, Vanguard. Yeah. Yeah, downwards ejector seats, man. Oh yeah. For the two guys, see 24 right there? Yeah, you eject downward. I did not notice that it was in Russian. Yep. Yeah, it is. Is there any footage of this being used? Oh, I don't know, Yarg. Yeah, B-52 is really cool plane. Bigger than you think. I've stood next to one. There's one at Pima. It is big. Yeah, it's a large plane. Why is the tail so long? Stabilization at high altitude, Ozzy. Also balance because you have a freaking huge bomb bay. Big chungus. All right. Let's see. Huh. Hang on. I'm looking around. I'm looking to see if there's any downward ejectors. Nope. I'm sure somebody could find footage of it somewhere. He was like, I can read that. I can't get. I don't think there's any B-52 stuff that I can find read like real quick. But there's this. This is a B-1. Does that help? Does that help? Is that better? Fuel starvation and bailout. I didn't see any ejector seats in that one, Tape. Yeah, it ejects the whole pod because, sure, why not? Those are the test sleds at in New Mexico. Hey, what's this? Yo, hello. Whoa. Hey, guy. Oh, there's two of them. Okay. Nice plane. He's just saying what's up. Yeah, it's a 27. Hey, guy. Hey, what's up, man? He rocked his wings. That's how you know it's not anything. You're rocking your wings is the like, hey, I'm cool, you know. Found it. It's in that video. All right. You guys want to see it? Let's see. Goodbye. That doesn't look like fun. Yeah, that doesn't look like fun. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that doesn't look like fun at all. Anyway, keep going with the space news. But it's cool to see them pulling B-52s out of the junkyard. There's a lot of those things lying around out in the desert. It's actually right next to Pima. You want to see how many? I'll show you. That's how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66. Yep. Oh, there's more, by the way. Yep. 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83. Oh, more over here. 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92. They're chopped up. They chopped them up, though. Some of these have been dismantled on purpose. Oh, there's one more right there. Yep. What do you know about Ray Finkel? Soccer-style kicker. No. They chopped them all up to show the Soviets that we were dismantling our bombers, and then the Soviets did the same with a bunch of Tu-95s. They did that on purpose. So, just as assurance that we weren't going to just destroy and kill millions of people. So the Strategic Arm Limitation Treaty. So that's why they chopped a bunch of these things up, rendering the airframes pretty much useless. You slice the aluminum like that, that's basically, you got to make it junk. But that doesn't mean that they can't use these things for parts, which is what they do, which is why B-52s still fly. They have all the parts, hundreds of them. I wonder if we can find the one that they were messing with. It's obviously not one of these that's had the tail section cut, even though that's kind of a shame. Procyon, you used to work at the boneyard? Really? That's cool. Davis Monton. That's neat. Are there any B-52s here that have the fuselage in one piece? That one's chopped. So is that one. That one has its head cut off. I don't like that. I don't like this at all. Look at all the F-15s. Look at all the A-10s. F-4s. T-38s. F-18s. I can't do this. I can't do this. This is... It's not depressing because I know that they use the planes for parts, which is cool. They're not just sitting there doing nothing. They use them for spares. So these go to good use. They're not abandoned by any means. Oh, Canberras. More A-10s, F-16s. I'm looking around for the other B-52. There's got to be a B-52 with an intact fuselage. These are all KC-135s and C-135s. Or 707s. Yeah, see? That's a C-135 right there. Any Lanks? No. I don't think so. Let's see. Any B-52s? 707, 707, 707, 707s. Like, look, they even bought planes from... They even bought planes for the KC-135s. They just bought planes from airlines. Which is kind of neat. Maybe a silly question, but how harmful to the sun is these planes? You cover up the plexiglass, hip-hop, and it's fine. Seriously. You can leave a plane out in the desert for years, and then it'll start. No problem. As long as you protect the windows. Because the windows aren't glass. They're Lexan and plexiglass. I mean, they are glass on some of them, like, to be fair. Yeah, as long as you cover up the windows to prevent UV damage, they'll be fine out there. That's why we do it. That's why we keep them there. Look at all the F4s. They use them for target practice, unfortunately. There's B1s right there. A lot of B1s. An entire freaking squadron of them. I'm looking around to see if we can find a B-52 with an intact fuselage, because I would guess that they pulled that thing out of the boneyard. I'm guessing that they pulled it out of here. They also, like I said, they rehab planes here too. If like a C-130 crashes or something, and you know, hopefully everybody, you know, if it's a write-off or if it's exceeded flight hours, they just pull one out of the boneyard and fix it. Look at all the planes that they have here. Bunch of F-18s, UH-1 Cobras. Look at that. Look at the Cobras for the Marine Corps. That's cool, man. F-16s, F-18s, they fix them, which is really cool. A-10s, well, the A-10s are based out of Davis-Monthan, but yeah, there's an A-10 squadron here. I'm trying to see if we can find that intact fuselage. Balls 8 is at Pima. Let's see. That's a lot of A4s. F-16s. I'm trying to find if there's a B-52. Is there a buff with the fuselage intact? 707, well, C-135s and KC-135s. More KC-135s. P-3s. F-15. C-135. C-7, or not a C-17, that's a C-5. Biggin. B-1. There it is. Hey, there it is. Does it have the markings on it? Yeah, L.A., Louisiana, that's it. There's Damage Control. Or Damage Incorporated, there it is. Sweet, we found it. All right. Hell yeah. We freaking found the thing.
It was a 3-week, 1,400.
That's that plane right there. Look, you can even see where the cover was covering up the front. See that? See how the paint's different? Look, you can see it with the cover. There it is. Is it 1009? I don't know. Let me take a look. I can't tell. That looks like 1023 or something. That looks like 1009 though, right there. That's cool. That's wicked, man. Yeah, that looks like LA 0 something 023 or something. LA is Louisiana. And I know that this bomber from that footage had a Louisiana marking on it. 1009 with the Louisiana markings. And you could see where the covers were. Do we have a shot of the tail? No, and I don't...
Parked on a side ride in Purcell.
I don't think the tail is on this thing. Damn. Why does the tail have holes? Guys, that's just the photogrammetry. The light didn't mess up with it. It doesn't have the tail on it. But Thomas, that does look like 1009 right there. Let's see if we check the other side. I don't know. See, all the other markings look like 1023, but that, dude, that's got to be it. That's the only B-52 here with an intact fuselage. Unless they pulled it out of another boneyard. Oh. Scratch that. Scratch that. Scratch that. All right. Scratch that. Oh, there's just more of them. Oh, look. There's more of them. Holy crap. Dude, this place is freaking heaven. All right, LA. Let's see. Is that 1009? I can't tell. That's Montana. This is the state that they operate out of, for people that don't know. That's what this means. These are LA, so LA is Louisiana. That one, MT, is Montana. Is that it? There we go. There it is. That one's 1009. There it is. And they cover them all the same way. Cool. We found it. We actually found it. That's awesome. And look at all of them that they just have chilling. There's over 100 B-52s in this place. They're not National Guard. The National Guard doesn't operate B-52s. This is all Air Force. Procyon, she's a beast, dude. Look at all the freaking planes, man. This place is heaven. Oh my god. How long would it take to fix it up? Well, this one is going to be a test mule. This is a prototype. The B-52 just got a service extension program, guys. You can see there's an old runway threshold right there. The B-52 just got a huge service extension to it for 30 years. They're going to upgrade the engines. They're going to upgrade a bunch of stuff on it. It was a huge contract with Boeing that they're gonna basically take the bombers apart and rebuild them, but rebuild them with the same fuselage, like a complete modernization. It's worth billions. It's really cool. Boeing got the contract for it. It's gnarly. Oh, that's so cool. There's over 100 B-52s in this place. That's heaven. I love it. Look at all the P3s. These are maritime patrol, anti-submarine warfare, and maritime patrol. P3s are cool planes, man. What else? C-130s. Lots of C-130s. Another Canberra. How come there's so many damn Canberras? F-14s. I think these are C-97s, but I'm not sure. Oh, an F-104. Or not an F-104, F-106, F-105. F-106, F-4, F-101. That's rare. What's that plane doing there? F-18, A-10, A-7, or F-8, I can't tell. F-16, a B-57, F-14, A-4, F-15, A-6. A-5, no, not an A-5. I forget the name of that plane. Yeah, that's an F8. The other one is an F8. Look at how long it is. You're right, because there's an A7 right there, and then there's another F4. Oh, that's cool. Look at all this. Oh, dude, I could spend days up in here. A YC-15. Holy crap, that's a rare plane. Whoa, they only made one. Oh no, wait, is that a C-14? YC-14? I have to look.
Discovery.
That's an experimental plane. They only experimented with the engines up top once. Any TriStars? The Air Force doesn't use TriStars, so I think it's a YC-14 or a YC-15. Yep. That plane is super rare. You know why? Yep, nope, 2 were built. What about the YC-15? Hold on. What's the YC-15? Ah, the YC-15 was the prototype for the C-17. Got it. Cool. Yeah, I zigged when I should have zagged. There's only 2 of those things. That's cool, man. There's a carrier AWACS right near it. I think that's an E2. Yeah, E2. I don't know what the name of these planes are. These planes have C designations, but I don't know what they are. Oh, an S3 Viking. That's cool. S3. C-130s. 707s. Well, C-135s. And anyone that's painted like all one color, like dark gray, that's a tanker. C-135 or KC-135s. Anyone that's painted like white, that's a C-135. They're Boeing 707s. And then there's 3 types of variants that they use for these planes. They use KC-135. So KC is a fueling designation. C-135 is just cargo. It's just a plane. It's just a 707. And then there's the EC-135, which is the AWACS. Electronic is the E designation, which means it has the disc on the top. We had A4s, F4s, and A6s at El Toro. El Toro, cool, man. See you last. Should check out Tinker in Oklahoma, where the B-52 is being built. Cool. Yeah, see, these are just municipal transport planes. There's a 727 cargo right there. No, it can't be a 727. It only has 2 engines. Interesting. VC-135. Yeah, that's right. There's VC-135. You're right. Good call. You were in El Toro SAR. That's cool, man. It's a shame that they got rid of that place. The El Toro was cool. I think those might be MD-80s. I think you're right, Apocalypses. C-130s. P3s. Dude, we could look at this for freaking hours. Look at all the C-130s. Oh, my God. 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 Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I want one. I want one badly. It's so damn cool. It just goes on. It doesn't stop. P3s. Helicopter fuselages. More P3s. More 707s. Wow, that's an upgraded one. See the engines? See the different engines? Oh my goodness. I'll just take a 707 or a C-135. A C-130. No. Hey, there's an EC-135. NATO plane. What happened to the shuttle carrier? It's in the SCA. There's 2 of them. 905 is at Johnson Space Center. I don't know where 911 is. I forget. Dude, it's crazy that we can read the markings on the damn planes. Google's photogrammetry is really good. Like, we can straight up read it and look at all the parts. Look at just rows. It's an outdoor warehouse of parts, of plane parts. Oh my God. Near Palmdale? Cool. Yeah, there's all the B-52s, C-5s. These are C-5As. They retired C-5As, the C-5As a little while ago. We use C-5Bs now. Or they use C-5Bs. CH-46s. Pavlos. Those are MH-53s or just H-53s. Yep, Pavlos right there. Look at all of them. Oh, it's so damn cool. You flew over this in Flight Simulator. Yeah, but the photogrammetry in Flight Simulator was caca. It wasn't. It definitely wasn't this. Is the F-104 there? No, I haven't seen an F-104. T-38s. T6s? Those are another trainer plane. Oh, my favorite. I just want one. I don't even need to fly it. You can take the engines out. I just want one. I used to drive past this every day when I worked out by the airport. That's cool. I think we've seen all these before. Oh, look at all the A-10s. I want one. So, you can't see the boneyard. It's not on public display. But what is on public display is what's next to it. Every time so they're storing F4s, F-15s. Every time the U.S. stops using one of these things, or we get down to the last one, they put it in this museum right here, Pima. And because of that, Pima is one of the few places where you can see almost every American bomber since World War II ever made. Yeah. There's a B-17 in here. B-29, upgraded to a B-50. B-47, B-36, B-52. B-58, B-57, which is not American, but that's another story. There might be. There's even some British stuff floating around that you guys might like. I was going to say, who knows what this is, sister, but you already know. It's a Shackleton. That's a cool plane. It's derived from the Lank, which is really cool. There's NASA's, is that the 990? I forget which plane that is. I've walked right up to it. There's a Super Guppy here. NASA's Super Guppy. Connie. P3. There's the VC-135 right there. Dude, everything. C-141, old school. The C-17 replaced that. Look at an OV-10, a boxcar. Crazy, huh? Look at all this stuff. So freaking cool. There's so many cool planes here. Look at 377, a Boeing 377 Stratocruiser. Is the other YC-14 at Pima? I don't know. Was there a DC-3? C-47 is what it's called in what it was called in the Army Air Corps, Chief. Yeah, I think so. I don't remember, dude. There were so many freaking planes. I tried to show everybody everything all in one shot. Couldn't do it. There's your F-104. F-104, F-100 Super Sabre, F-101, F-106. Another F-106. An English Electric Lightning. A-7. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what these planes are. There's a B-50 Praga, yeah. Any MiGs? Yeah, of course. MiG-29, MiG-21, MiG-17, MiG-15. I think that one's a Sukhoi. Sukhoi. Sukhoi desu ne. Ha ha ha. Yeah, there's a bunch of good stuff. Yeah, Pima's amazing. If you're ever in Arizona, go there. There's stuff there that, you know, not just American.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
What was the Chibi shuttle? That's the space pavilion right here, guys. There's a bunch of satellite hardware in there. Oh, yeah. I actually didn't have time to get to it. I was looking at all the planes. I forgot about it. Yeah, I know. That's how crazy this has to be to distract me from a spaceflight pavilion. There's a Hind right there. Ex-East German Hind. It's a Hind D, which is really cool. And then when I came around this corner and saw it, you know what I said to Saber? What's a Russian gunship doing here? Yeah, look at all the helicopters. I'm telling you guys, this museum is insane. Pima's ridiculous. So the big white whale? Oh, my pleasure. One of two Super Guppies that's NASA. He's gift, yep. Yep. Does this have street view? Actually, yes, it does. But I'm telling you, you guys got to go see this yourself. The pictures don't do it justice. Hey, baby. Yeah, this is where I stood next to a B-52. They're huge. Way bigger than you think. They paint over the windows so the sun doesn't ruin them. Yeah, Balls 3 is out. There's 3 B-52s. Oh my god. Oh my god. They fixed Balls 3. Hell yeah, Balls 3. So that's B-52 serial number 3. NASA used it. NASA used this for X-50, or well, it wasn't NASA yet. It was the NACA. The NACA, see that? See that pylon? X-15 drop test. Neil Armstrong dropped from this plane, dude. In an X-15 before he joined NASA. Is that an intact B-36? 6 turning, 4 burning, man. This is the Pima Air and Space Museum in Tucson. It's right across the street from the Boneyard. I'm telling you, man, every single plane you can think of. They got it, well, almost. Within reason. But still, there's so much stuff here. Because every time the Boneyard discards something or they want to throw something away, they go over to the museum and they're like, hey, do you have this? And if the museum says no, we'll take it. Well, there you go. Look, there's all kinds of good stuff here. Tri-jets. That's 787 serial number 3. Yeah, third 787 ever built. Right there. And then there's a bunch of good stuff in here. Oh, there's the other one. I forgot that this was here. You were right. There's the other one. There's only 2 of those in the world. And guys, if you're looking at this and you're saying, well, I don't see any World War II stuff there. Yeah, they keep the World War II stuff in these hangars. I won't tell you what's in there. I'm just going to tell you that you'll like it. This is all the stuff they keep outside. Inside of all of here, there's all kinds of good stuff. Oh, also, there's an SRB on the front door. In the front doorstep. Yeah, there's a 4-segment twin O-ring. Double O-ring SRB design right there. Yeah. 2 O-ring design. Pre-Challenger. They got Mustangs and Spitfires. Yep. Yep. Mustangs, Spitfires. There's a P-47 in there, I think. I think there was a Dauntless, too. There's a bunch of stuff, man. This place is, I'm telling you, this place is nuts. There's an A4 sitting on the doorstep. I don't know if they have a BF-109. I forget. Guys, there's so many planes here, I honestly forget. I honestly don't remember. They got 2 F-105 Thunder Chiefs just sitting next to an F-4. Like, F-101, F-111, Panavia Tornado. How did that get there? Like, there's a tornado there. It's freaking nuts, dude. An A5, super rare plane. Original F-18, there's an A4, A7, F4. They got 2 F4s just across the street from each other. That's an Air Force one and that's an Army one. A6, F8, A5. Dude, an F9, a Panther. That's cool, man. There's 2 of them. I'm telling you, dude. You want to see planes, this is the place to go. There are planes here you can't see anywhere else in the world. There's a Harrier right there. It's freaking nuts, dude. There's an A-10. The A-10's inside. I just want a gosh darn JPEG of Balls 3. And then back here, they have the planes that the restoed plane, the planes that are being worked on. Which is cool. Another boxcar. There's 2 of them. They have 2. All right. And then one of my favorite... Oh, dude, look. DC-4. That wasn't there when we were there. It wasn't there. Catalinas. Couple of PBY parts so they can make one good one. Dude, just parting out airplanes, man. There's a Huey right there. I think that's a Lockheed Electra. All the tow bars to tow the planes around. And then there's a Thor missile right there. Yeah, that's just sitting there. And then there's my favorite alleyway. You see those? No Mirage? I think it's inside Creepstone. I don't see an SR-71. Yeah, I'm not sure there's... I forget if there's an SR-71. It might be inside. So they let us go into the back, which usually nobody gets back in here in the maintenance bay. And quite literally sitting between these two sheds back here are LR-87s, rocket engines from a Titan rocket. I hugged one. I hugged one. I'm not gonna lie to you. I hugged it. Would you not? There's an F-111 in there. Yeah. Oh, any diesel fans here? Anybody like diesel engines? So we were leaving, right? Last story before we get back to space news. We were leaving here, so we were on our way out. I'm not going to say which one, but one of these sheds right here I peeked my head into because I noticed something. All right? I noticed something. If you look back here, yeah, they have one. See that right there? Who knows what that is? Who knows what that sucker is? See that? Last. Some of us saw it. Yeah, yeah. I want to see the prototype B-52. Balls up, nice. So that is an airport tug. Dodge, in the late 80s into the 90s, was a supplier for the Air Force to make airport tugs. Now, what were their airport tugs? The airport tugs were... The airport tugs were converted Dodge Rams. Anybody know what engine that came in this thing? Who's the car nut here? When I saw the LR-87. Yep. Nope. 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 Not a V10. 12 valve. 12 valve. McMuffin, guess what was in that shed? It had to have been at least 40 12 valves sitting in that shed from all the airport tugs that they got. Dude, it was at least at the very least like 40 of them. I poked my head in that shed and went, oh, oh, oh God, oh no, 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 oh gosh. So in the car world, those 12 valves are very sought after because they're a very good engine. About one of the best diesel engines you could get. They can literally pull airplanes. So. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, there's a shed full of them. And I walked back over to the mechanic and I'm like, what are you guys doing with all the 12 valves? And he's like, oh, in case an airport tug breaks. I'm like, I want one. He's like, not for sale. I'm like, I want one. And he's like, oh, I know what you mean. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's one of my Pima stories that I couldn't tell. In one of those sheds, dude. And it's not the one with the airport tug parked next to it. It's one of these sheds back here. There's just 12 valves for days, dude. It's so cool. Like, that was cool enough in itself, man. Yeah, go to Pima. Trust me. Go to Pima. It's amazing. All the good stuff that comes out of here that they don't need anymore, they put in Pima. And it's awesome. It was heaven, dude. It was like being in Watto's junk shop. Seriously. It was like being in Watto's junk shop. There's just pod racing engines just sitting on the ground. Look. Those are Mars Guo's pod racing engines. Look. 12 valve swap the Coronet. Yeah, right. Took way too long, but you finished it? Right on. It was awesome. Dude, I went a little plane crazy on that trip. Kakapudu. Ho, 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 ho. Yep. Oh, look, there's the SRB aft skirt right there. It's just sitting over there. Oh, no. There they are. Huh. Interesting. I wonder what that is. I forget. Dude. Oh, my God. This place is dope. It's heaven. I gotta stop looking at it. I gotta stop looking at it. More space news. So, check this out. Arizona's actually Tatooine confirmed. Yeah, Tessa, don't do that. I mean, I'm not gonna say that it's... So, I'm not gonna say that it's, you know, southern Arizona. If anybody knows anything about Arizona, it's out in the desert. And, yeah. I wouldn't go try to rob somebody down there. Let me just put it to you like that. I wouldn't go try and rob someone. I don't think that would end well. Yep. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. That's not going to end well for you. It's also really hot. Anyway, check this out. Next bit of space news. We've made and successfully tested a large 100% composite cryogenic fuel tank. This game-changing technology could increase the amount of mass a rocket can launch and be used in sustainable air travel. So Boeing did up a composite tank. Seemingly out of the blue, this is a carbon composite liquid fuel tank. But it ain't seemingly out of the blue, man. It ain't seemingly out of the blue. I can't prove it, but this looks like the XS-1's LOX tank. What's the XS-1? The XS-1 was a flyback first stage that Boeing was working on. They shelved the project. But that looks a lot like right there. And before you say, well, how can you tell? Well, one, they're very similar diameter. It's the same diameter as this, because you have the shuttle engine for reference. So shuttle engine nozzle, you can extrapolate that. The second part is, see these two raceways that are coming off the top of the XS-1? Uh-oh. Wonder what those are. Huh. It was made back in 2018. Stop saying back in 2018, please. Oh. Oh, well, I guess I can prove it, because there it is. Go behind the scenes during the creation of the Phantom Express LOX propellant tank. Well, alright. Let's take a look here. Wow. That's cool. Jeez, man. Wow. So, yeah, okay. That is the XS-1 LOX tank. All right. Cool, Thomas. Thank you. Is that a multi-welder? Not a welder firework. Carbon composite. No welding required. That's freaking cool, man. So, what is this article about? They bringing back the XS-1 or what? Please do that. A new type of large, fully composite, linerless cryogenic fuel tank designed and manufactured by Boeing passed a critical series of tests at Marshall at the end of 2021. The successful test campaign proves the new technology is mature, safe, and ready for use in aerospace vehicles. The 4.3 meter, 14-foot diameter composite tank is similar in size to the fuel tanks intended for use in the upper stage of NASA's SLS rocket. Which is the foundational capability in Artemis's lunar and deep space human exploration program. If the new composite technology were implemented in evolved versions of the exploration upper stage, the weight savings technology could increase payload masses by up to 30%. Holy shnikes. Whoa. What? Let me do some quick math. Let me do some quick math off the top of my head. Wait a minute. As of October 2017, the SLS Block 1B will have a payload capacity of up to 105 tons. It's not that. It's higher than that now. They made a lot of improvements to SLS. Its initial baseline rating out of the gates was 100 tons for Block 1B and 70 tons for Block 1. In reality, Block 1 is closer to 100. So that number is more like 130 nowadays. So Block 1B will be about what this says Block 2 will be. You can check NASA's archives on SLS if you want to check that out, or just check their Twitter accounts when they talk about it. 130 tons. Whoa, 30%? 30%. Holy balls, that's 170 ton payload capacity. Am I thinking about that right? If it was 100 tons, increased by 30%, it'd be 30 tons. 130 would be even more. 170 tons. Can we do this? Can we? Can we do this? Can we do this? Can we make this happen? Please? 170 ton, that's almost Ares 5. How do you even pack 170 tons of something? SLS has a cargo variant, Swishio, that has a 10-meter fairing. 10-meter fairing. A 10-meter fairing that's 40 meters tall. You could fit 170 tons of something in there. I don't know. Oh, that's so cool. I'm just gonna blaze through the rest of this, see if there's anything else in there. Where we have a expertise, we can do that. Okay. Pressurizing the tank to expected operational loads and beyond. In the final test, which intended to push the tank to failure, pressures reached 3.75 times the design requirements without any major structural failure. Okay. $170 tons, that could lift a pop artist's ego. Savage. That's cool. That's cool. Thomas, you said look at the picture? What's up with the picture? Hold on. Top right of image of that, it's a Saturn 1 stage. This? That's right, Admiral. Yeah. Right here? Okay. Hang on. That's been there for a while, right? That's been there for a little bit. It's all rusty. It's been outside. Please hold. And the side of that crate said MSFC along with the tweet. in the release. So they tested this at Marshall. Excuse me for a second. Excuse me. One hop. So NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center in Mississippi, this is Alabama, right? Yeah. Redstone, yeah, Huntsville. All right, sorry. I always get those confused. No, it's in Alabama. So this is where the Redstone Arsenal was, right? So let's look around. This is where NASA does all their dynamic testing. So like they crush tanks and stuff here. They do a lot of material analysis, aerospace material analysis. What do we got over here? Nope. Sorry about getting Mississippi and Bama confused. That's my fault. Let's just take a peek around. There's power. Okay, there's the airport. The dynamic test stands are down here. This is where they break things on purpose. There's the Saturn V dynamic test stand. It's the tallest building in Alabama, which is hilarious to me. These are different rocket test stands right here. Another test stand. Another test stand. There's another one. Tested here. Let me find it, you dope. That's a cool building. That's a high bay. NASA built one of the VAB's high bays here on purpose to test Saturn V's. They put the Saturn V on this and then they put it in it's a gigantic paint shaker, which is actually really cool. What do we got down here? Oh, why is that just sitting there? Please, why is that just sitting there? Damn it. Why is that? You can't do that. You can't just leave the Saturn 1 sitting there. That's a test article. It is a Saturn 1 first stage, but it's not a Saturn 1B first stage. This was one of the prototypes. See you could tell because of the aft skirt. Look at the aft skirt. It looks like super heavy with just some panels on the engines. That's an early Saturn 1. That would have been from like right at the beginning of the Apollo program. What else they got? What else they got chilling out here? Let's peep them while we're here. Hey. No. No. Please. Yep. SLS test articles. Actually, no. Hold on. 9.4. No, it's 8.4. That's an SLS test article. Or it could be a space shuttle testing article, too. Yeah, 8.4 meter diameter. SLS core stage. There's an excavator. Paper! Thanks for the bits. In case you wanted to know what a sonic boom sounded like. More test stands. Another abandoned test stand. That hasn't been used in a long time. Where's 4670? Ah, there it is. Okay, over here. Blue Origin bought that test stand. 4670 test stand at Marshall. They're going to test New Glenn first stages there from what I understand. That's a big test stand. This was used to do the green run for Saturn V first stages. The first Saturn V first stage. What is this? The ground looks like it's been torched. That's new. Looks new. Well, let's check our diameters again. You can tell from the test stand diameter here. Well, let me put it to you like this. If it's 7 meters in diameter, we know it's Blue Origin. If it's 8.4, we know it's NASA. NASA. It's probably an SLS testing stand. My guess is that it looks to be about the same height as the LOX tank. It's probably a LOX tank testing stand. Change the date to newest and go here for another carbon test tank. Oh yeah, SLS test stands. Look at that. Look at all the parts, man. Any more rocket parts in there? Are we peeping around for rocket parts? I don't know. That's this. Structural test stands for SLS. Yep, there they are. Good call. Good eye, my guy. I'm looking around. You want me to go there for another carbon test tank? All right. Interesting. How do you know that's carbon? How can you tell? That looks like an ICPS. Yeah, well, hey, Google Earth works. Yeah, these are all the different jigs that you need to put rockets together. Gets complicated. You can tell it's a carbon composite tank because of the way it is. Yep. And I'll give you 3 guesses what test stand this was used for. Spoiler alert. It's in the picture. Saturn 1. Saturn 1 test stand Marshall. That's 4670, the one that's the one that looks like a pyramid. There it is. There it is, with the dang stage on it. Did they use any of the Saturn V testing stuff for SLS? Not sure, Bandit. Well, they used the B2 test stand. The B2 test stand is from the Apollo program. It looks like they used this cell right here for propulsion testing and that for tank testing. It's kind of annoying to see how rusty it is. Oh man, look at all this stuff, and it's still got the test article with it, man. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this, Mike. No, Mikey, no, Mikey, that is so not right. Oh, there it is. You need to become an eccentric billionaire and buy all this stuff. Not just buy it, use the damn thing. There's not many places in the world where you can test a 6-meter stage. There's only 1 or 2 places. I know off the top of my head. McGregor can't do this. Last Puzz. What's up, Cajun? Commercial crew. What's that about? We'll be hosting a teleconference at noon tomorrow on February 4th to provide an update to Crew 4. Oh, neat. That Saturn 1 stage was for sale a little while ago. Dude, I'd buy it. Telling me we don't have any use for that? Nothing? Just sitting there? Yeah. And we test cryo tanks in the flame trench? Well, maybe, I mean, there's SLS stuff over here, so maybe they did SLS things with this. We don't know that for sure. Core, it's ridiculous. Start a GoFundMe and buy it? Or where am I going to put it? Dude. Okay, let me put it to you like this, fellas. If we did a GoFundMe to buy that thing, I want a Saturn 1 upper stage to go with it. Hey, don't sit here and judge me. If we're going to do this, we're going to do it right, okay? We're going to do it freaking right. I don't want just the first stage. So find me a Saturn 1 second stage, and then we'll talk. And an inner stage too, while we're at it, the vehicle stage adapter. If we're gonna go buy Saturn 1 parts, we're buying Saturn 1 parts. Okay? See? You need to find me one of these things. Because this is a Saturn 1. It's not a Saturn 1B. Differences. Very different. Saturn 1 didn't have any fins on it. And then they had a variant of it, the Saturn 1, which was just Saturn 1, right? And then which is Saturn 1A, which is this thing, SA5, 6, and 9. And then SA201 is a Saturn 1B. Differences. This old upper stage for Saturn, the Saturn 1, had 6 RL10As in them. 6 RL10s. Pretty cool. So if we're going to do this, I want one of these. Okay? Was that the Apollo moon rocket? No. Carvake, that's not the Apollo moon rocket. This is part of the Saturn family of rockets. They did this first. So generally what you do when you build a space program, right? Start with something small. Like a Saturn 1. And even a Saturn 1. The Saturn 1 is made up of Jupiter and Juno parts. Technically, this rocket design the Saturn series of rockets, all the way up to the Saturn V, can trace its family tree back to the A4, directly back to the A4. The V2. Directly back to it. Now keep in mind, that's just NASA rockets because von Braun worked on them, right? So you have the A4, the aggregate 4. Then you have the Redstone, which is an extended aggregate 4. And then you have Jupiter, and then you have Juno. And then the Saturn 1, then the Saturn 1B, and then the Saturn V. That's not the moon rocket. This thing over here is the moon rocket. This guy. See that right there? Yeah, Aqua, there you go. So these early Saturn stages had shrouding on the outside before they put wings on them. That is the earliest of the early Saturn V stages right there. Or Saturn 1 stages. That is a Saturn 1A, I guess, if you want to call it that. And it's got the engines in it. How much of an effect would those tiny fins have on the Saturn V? They put them on there because they weren't sure, and the Saturn V could fly without them. Why fins, though? Stabilization. Why not fins? So, Also, see how it has the conic interstage adapter? The conic interstage adapter goes to the RL10. See over here? There's your cone adapter right there. This is... Actually, that might be SA1. Thomas, do we know the serial number on that first stage? No, not all Saturn rockets used F1 engines. The Saturn 1 uses H1 engines, which are the power plant from a Thor missile. They ended up being used in the Delta. It's a Delta engine. Why was there not a Saturn 2, 3, or 4? No, that's not it. There was a Saturn C4, but they got rid of it for the Saturn V because it was better. I'm trying to find the right picture. Got to be some pictures of it around here somewhere. Yeah. Yep, Nova. Mm-hmm. We don't talk about Nova. But see, yeah, we'd need to find one of those things. See one of those guys right there? We'd need to find that. If we could do that, then I'd be like, oh, we'll have a GoFundMe for the damn museum too. You know, I like my Mopars. The H1 engine looks so simple. Yeah. It's about as simple as you can get. Open cycle. I think it's open cycle. Forget. It's just a kerosene engine. Just a Kerolox engine. Yeah, so you're right, Hell Hydra. It's about as simple as you can get. Transverse power pack, though. The H1 sucked. Okay, fine. You don't like the H1? I'll give you the RS-27. Here, let's see if we can get a picture of it. There you go. RS-27, which is just the upgraded version of it. Also sucks since it's based off of it. No, not a fan, huh? It's not a bad motor design. Also, Alco RS-27s are cool as well. Shameless shout out for that because trains. Actually, you know what? This picture, that picture's going in my Saturn research pictures. Yeah, that one's going in there. It already exists. What? Oh, I already have it. Nice. Excellent. That's all right. That's right, Timmy. I already had it. I thought it was decent, and then I looked. Rocketdyne H1. It's a gas generator engine, right? Open cycle, I think. What's the specs? So 900 kilonewtons, that's not bad. TWR is 100, okay, that's pretty good. 289 sea level is 255. Oh. Oh, there you go. There you go. Thanks, Beryl. Yeah, that in the early Apollo program. There you go. There's your proposals. Yeah, thank you. So very much a first stage engine. I like that piece of equipment in the back there. Yeah, this is a first stage engine. The Kerbal equivalent of this would be like an LVT-30. Yeah, LVT-30 for sure. Yep. Yeah. See that right there, fellas? That's about as simple as you can get for a rocket engine. Yeah. Yeah, it's about as simple as you can get. Open cycle, Carolox gas generator. It doesn't get simpler than that. If that looks complicated to you, then yeah. Yeah, that's the simple stuff. Interesting. Von Braun wasn't part of the H1 program, I don't think. Here, let me read. I might be wrong. I'm guessing. Let me check. The H1 was developed for use in the Saturn 1 and Saturn 1B first stages of Saturn 5, respectively, where it was used in clusters. The H1 is a series of engines developed from the V2. I thought it was designed for the Thor missile. Hold on. Scratch this. Wait a minute. I thought this was the Thor. I thought this was Thor Delta. Wait a minute. I gotta read. Using a new waterfall injector, the Germans were unable to get the design into work, and it never went into space. Any engineers attacked this problem, came up with a solution to let them raise the thrust. NASA was working on the SM-64. All of these designs, like the V2 that spawned them, burned ethanol, but other fuels had also been experimented with, including kerosene, diesel oil, paint thinner, JP4, and JP5. Nice. Journey 53, Rocketdyne started the reprogram to cover these engines to a specific well-legendary fuel, which became known as RP1, officially specified in military specification MIL-R-25576 in 1954. Okay, the Air Force selected a JP5 burning engine. In 1955, the Air Force selected a JP4 burning version of the engine to power their Atlas missile. The U.S. Army requested a further boost to 150, 600 for the Jupiter missile. Cool. And the Air Force did the same for Thor. Oh, okay. All right, cool. Producing the Rocketdyne S3D. Yeah, okay. Wow. Damn, dude. That's freaking cool. I know what someone's going to ask. Why is the bulge right there? Because they dump the open cycle into the end of the nozzle to cool it. So they're pumping all that stuff in there so it bulges a little bit. They hadn't figured this out yet completely. The F1 is a much better example of film cooling. But you can see the dumps from the turbines go right in, and they keep it all nice and cool. That's why there's that bulge there on the end of the engines. Fun story, the four center engines on the Saturn 1 are fixed. These are the ones that move. And I think, if I'm looking at this correctly, fellas, that is the actual... The engine cluster of a first stage of a Saturn 1 rocket located on the north side of the static test stand, Marshall Space Flight Center. That's that rocket. That's that thing. There it is. Yeah, the early Saturn 1s, guys, the early Saturn 1s had a weird shape. See? They have those, like, cowlings down there at the bottom. There's the first one that fired. We never got that one back. Like that. Well, that's the same picture. See, it has these things, like a Saturn V almost. And then they said, screw that. We put wings on it instead. See? They put wings on the back after. My last two messages. Apparently, the Saturn 1 stage is the SAT stage and was used for multiple static fires at Marshall and then used for fit testing at Michoud. You suppose a turbocharger could be turned into a turbo pump for a small engine? No, Hellfish. No. Turbochargers wouldn't work that way. They're moving air. You'd need a fuel pump. Dragster fuel pump. Yeah. Turbochargers can't work. They're designed to compress air. It wouldn't work very well with fluids. You'd need to re-engineer the turbo shaft. That wouldn't be a good idea. You'd have to take the turbine housing and then graft it to the shaft of like a top fuel dragster's fuel pump. And even then, it's too heavy. I mean, you could make a rocket engine with that, but it ain't going nowhere. There was a $250,000 shipping fee if you want that Saturn 1, by the way. $250 G's for a first stage is really freaking good. That's a really good price, considering a Falcon 9 first stage, for instance, is $40 million. Even an inerted Falcon 9's probably more than that. That's on top of the cost of purchase. I bet you they sell it for you for $1. You know what? We had a couple $1 billion. You know what I'm doing? We win the lottery. If we win the lottery, I'm taking this. I'm taking this. I'll take this and the stage. Give me the whole damn thing. Rip it out of the ground. I don't care. I'll rebuild it somewhere else. And we'll put that sucker in a museum. We'll put this thing on there and we'll make it a museum exhibit. All right? Yes, that would cost money. Yes, it would probably cost millions. I understand that. You don't want a museum like that? Oh, okay. All right. I'll get to the next thing of space news, okay? Get to the next thing of space news. Seriously, how awesome would the entire test stand be? Just sitting there with the original test article on it, man. That would be cool. It's government property. Joseph. Living museum exhibit, a monthly Saturn 1 rocket test. That's when people would probably get concerned. There's a huge tangent from that pic and I loved it. Well, it needed it. All right, cool. So composite tanks. That's sweet. They should use that in the EUS. All right, next bit of news here. This is coming from NASA Webb. Our NIRCam instrument detector saw their first photos of starlight. Well, NASA Webb is not yet ready for science. This is the first of many steps to capture images that are at first unfocused, used to slowly fine-tune the optics. Yep. They're trimming out the mirror segments. Cool. Yeah, see, they're articulate. They move around. Probably not 2020, but who knows. Anyway, that's pretty neat. Most excellent. What else do we got? This is coming from Orbex. Delighted to announce that we have submitted our application for a launch license to the UKCAA. What is that? UK Civil Aviation Authority. Oh, okay, so it's like the FAA. Got it. The license application process is another key milestone in the journey that will see Orbex begin commercial launches from Sutherland. Word. Northern parts of Scotland, right there. Sweet. Awesome. It's going to take a little bit longer, Katra. All right, so this is a tweet coming from Mike Sheets about launch statistics. China led the world with 19 launches in Q4 2021, according to Bryce Tech Space. SpaceX carried about 12,000 more kilograms with less than half as many launches. Interesting. Astra's on the list. Yay! Astra made the list. Cool. JAXA, Space, Curie, ULA, Mitsubishi is the H3, Ariane's Vega, Soyuz, and Ariane 5. Roscosmos is Soyuz and Proton. And Angara, I guess you could put Angara in there too. I don't know if Ministry of Defense launches count. Cool. Expected to see a SLS in there. You know what's funny, Firework? One SLS launch would get you to the top of this list. Seriously. One SLS can move... An SLS Block 1 can move 100 tons into space. Anything on top of the core stage makes it into space with an SLS. Its payload capacity is 100,000 kilograms out of the box. One SLS launch would put you at the top of this. Isn't that nuts? That's the difference between building a rocket that can go to Leo and building a rocket that can go to the moon. And this is just Q4. Oh, okay. So, core space, by this logic, SLS should launch 4 times a year. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Am I right or am I right? Yeah, no, I completely agree. All right, next bit of space news here. This is coming from Jeff Faust. Good news about NASA's InSight from Bruce Bannard. Bruce Bannard? Really? Okay. Yeah, that actually is his name, but anyway. At the MEPAG meeting, the spacecraft is out of safe mode from a recent dust storm and should resume normal science operations this weekend. Cool. InSight is a seismic testing lander that NASA landed on Mars in 2018. 2018. But if we jam it, you're right. Downscope. Downscope! The bad news, the energy is still declining in the long term and will drop below level to operate instruments in May and June. The solar panels on InSight are covered in dust. That's not good. He added, though, that InSight did submit a proposal for the ongoing Planetary Science Senior Review in the event that the spacecraft's solar panels get cleaned and allow the spacecraft to operate beyond the end of the year, something he says that's unlikely. Oof. You have a question, Rigaro. Do you mind answering? No, I don't take questions anymore. Yeah, no. This is... You can only ask questions about oil painting in here from now on. Ask the question. Yeah, sure, man. Ask away. I just beat the devil out of it. You think I'm kidding? Why would I have a paintbrush on my desk? You think I'm kidding? Just beat the devil out of it. Why would I have prepared this? Why would I put a paintbrush on my desk if I wasn't prepared for this joke? Hey, I'm a patient man, Tars. I'm a patient man. Clean the keyboard. Shut up. Shut up. Shh. What is the best oil painting color? I like a little bit of phthalo blue. If you really want to know, a little bit of phthalo blue. No, Mikey. No, Mikey. That is so not right. Yeah, Rigaro, what's up, dude? Yeah, ask the question here. Rembrandt or Van Gogh? Rembrandt. Van Gogh was a psychopath. Seriously. That boy ain't right, boy. I tell you what. Does this mean a craft like InSight should get solar panel vibrators? I mean, in future versions, yeah. Aren't most artists? I mean, You read about Van Gogh, Mutter, and all I can think is emo kid. Do you remember, like 15 years ago on MySpace where it was, like, cool to, like... Keep in mind, this is 15 years ago. It was, like, cool to show, like, you, like, stabbing yourself with a knife or, like, putting a gun to your head and stuff and then posting it on the internet. Yeah. Yeah, people used to do that. It was pretty cringe. Yeah. Yeah, kids used to do that. People still do that? Yeah. Yeah, it's probably not a good thing. I wouldn't know, man. I don't go on social media. The only social media I go on is Twitter. And the only reason I go on Twitter, subject change, is to see pictures like this. Yeah, that's a nice picture. We read that at the beginning of Space News, Hellfish. Yeah, pretty neat. Oh, soon. How cool would it be to launch and land like one right after the other? This is a composite because the landing site out at Vandenberg is right next to the launch site. So they took a picture of launch and then they took a picture of landing and they composited the picture together. It's really cool. This is coming from SpaceX. Like, SpaceX actual posted this. Rigaro, did you ever ask the question? Give me a sec, I'm doing something. Okay. Why did I have that on my desk, Urban? Don't worry about it. It's fine. I got a lot of things on my desk, like this thing. Okay. See this thing? See? This is nice. Okay. All right. What's up? So basically, I've been using my telescope almost every night. Cool. The other day, I found my first planet. You found Jupiter. But the first night I saw it, it was about the size of a ping pong ball. But the second night, only one day later, it was the size of an ant. Why is this? It's the same telescope, same location, same eyepiece. Did you change the settings on the telescope? You may have. That sounds like you adjusted your focal length on the telescope, dude. Could be wrong, though. No, I didn't adjust anything. I'm pretty sure you saw two different planets then. You may have seen Venus, which is a little bit closer than Jupiter. They're both kind of green, easy to mistake, especially if you don't have a high-powered enough telescope. And, you know, if you said like, oh, I pointed the telescope in the same direction, okay, that doesn't mean anything. Or some swamp gas reflected off of Venus. Guys, telescope is not my forte. Telescopes aren't my forte, to be honest. So you ask Econ Greg. I'm pretty sure you saw two different planets, though. I use an app which tells me the location, and then it scans it to double check. Last for another composite. Oh, okay. Oh, nice picture, Thomas. Very cool. Yeah, that's really neat. On the topic of telescopes, when I had mine and found Saturn, I could barely see its rings, and I was in such awe. I sat outside in 30-degree weather staring at it for like 2 hours. Yeah, that happens. Night Sun Temple. Yeah, Rigaro, I don't know. Maybe you saw two different planets or something, or water could have gotten in the lens or whatever, or different atmospheric conditions. Planets don't just change shape like that, you know? It never looks that big again. It's still an ant to this day. I'm pretty sure you saw a different planet, man. Or some swamp gas reflected off of Venus or something. Here, chat. Look at the jingly keys. Look. What can you tell me about this picture? Oh, was ist das? Ah, ja, wunderbar. There's your fairings. And an offload, huh? Let's see. This is coming from Gav. Let's see. Time lapse. Bob unloading the fairing halves from the CSG-2 mission. Oh, hey. Hey, what up? Oh, look at that. Look at the fairing compared to the car. Look at the fairing compared to the truck. The fairing could fit like 3 or 4 of those things in there, man. And these are tiny fairings, which is crazy to me. Yeah, see it list to port right there. How do they grab the fairings with that arm? Does it dock? It scoops it out with a bunch of ropes. There's like a bunch of ropes in a ring and they sink it under. Thomas, link up the fairing practice lift video. Yeah, she's big. It's not a net flanking, no. Thomas, if you could get the picture of that Gav took of them pulling the thing out, it'd be cool. Please hold. Thank you, sir. Okay. So in other space news, I wanted to show you guys this here. This is coming from Trevor Malman. Speaking of boats and tugs here, yeah. Here, take a look. There's a little tug moving across the port here with NASA Spaceflight's Fleet Cam, and yeah. Here, let me play the video. I'll show you. It's not space news. I just I retweeted Trevor and I was like, try not to laugh at this. And it's funny every time, dude. My summer car. Oh yeah. I don't know if That's so goddamn funny. Trevor made that up. It's really funny, dude. Oh my god. Next news. Okay, this is coming from the ISS's Twitter account. So, February 3rd, 2022 marks 300 continuous days in space for Mark Van High and Peter Dubrov. There you go. 300 days they have orbited the Earth 4,800 times and traveled 127,218,212 statute miles. And those are the best kind of miles. Cool. Yeah, Peter and Mark have been up there for a long time, boy. How is that thing useful in any way? Switch, I don't have an answer. Usually, you know, I'm like, oh, well, that's a tugboat 607 that was used in this. Yeah, I don't know what the frick that thing is. It's some kind of tugboat. I don't know why it's so weird looking and why it needs to have such a high draft like that, but it's really funny. Dude, I don't know. Like, this one is beyond me. Usually I know what stuff is. I'm like, oh, that's a Tubman 601. I think it's a mail plane. Well, how can you tell? Well, you can tell because of the little balls. The tug known as Foley D, it's used for barge pushing. Oh, okay. Thanks. Now I want to watch the Jetsons. Nice. 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 Also, here's a picture, Thomas. I think you linked this up. There's a picture of the L87 booster at LZ4. This picture conveys Falcon 9 scale very nicely. That thing is big. Very big. Yep. Hellfish, he's Thomas. He's not a person. So, guys, I'll let you in on a little secret. Drummer and I came together and, we were like, we need something that's able to recognize voice commands and bring me space news links on command every day. So Drummer wrote the Thomas 199202 AI to just pretend like they're a viewer, like it's a viewer from chat, right? And it actually just gets me all. It links to the image repository. What? I'm a synth. Game recognized game. Destructoid. Yeah, so check this out. If you guys really want to know how big Falcon 9 is, there you go. This is actually a really good picture, and that's going in my Falcon research folder. So Drummer has replaced the chat with a small shell script. Why do you think Drummer's never in here anymore, Juicebot? So EJ view bots. No, PVJ. They don't think it be like it is, but it do. Okay? Look. See what I'm talking about? Legendary Oscar Gamble said that. They don't think it be like it is, but it do. Okay? No, Tessa, it's not a problem. It makes me money, remember? It's not a problem at all. Tessa, you don't think it be like it is, but it do. Okay? You don't think it be like it is. But guess what? It do be like it is. My favorite baseball card? Hell yeah, Groin. Alright, so check this out. We got another picture from Launcher here. Launcher is another small-sat startup company here. 4 orbiter engines ready to fire from CAD to test fire in 6 days. The power of 3D printing in a vertically integrated company. Hailfish, if you're still here, I'm pretty sure you're right. I'm fairly confident that is just a spark plug from a lawnmower. So, at least we know that the engines have spark igniters. Yeah, that's just a spark plug. Yeah, that's a spark plug. Porcelain. It's a spark plug. Hey! If it's stupid and it works, it ain't stupid. It just looks kind of funny attached to this really cool laser sinter aluminum rocket engine. Just saying. That's a bong? I mean, what a bong does and what a rocket engine does is not that far off. I mean, they both make gas, hot gas. I mean, kind of the same thing. They're both burning propellants. I mean, it's true. You have to light it on fire to get it to work. Just saying. Both will take you into space. See? This works. They both use an oxidizer and a fuel. And hey, bongs have a torch igniter. You gotta torch it, man. Raptors have a torch igniter. Just saying. Just saying. Why does this make sense? I don't know. I'm saying rockets make a fat vapor cloud. Just saying, from the sound suppression system. Rocket engines shoot hot gases through water vapor on the test stand and make a huge steam cloud. What the frick? What the frick? That's not right. Yeah, the air conditioner's loud. It's working. It's working, man. The CIA is onto you, man. Well, if it was the CIA, it wouldn't be a bong. It'd be lysergic acid. What? Nothing about what I just said was not factually right. Guess who invented it? Well, guess who came up with the idea of consuming it? Yeah, because it wasn't hippies, that's for sure. Why? It's like 20 degrees up there. It's not the air conditioner, Sawyer, it's the fan. I turn the air conditioner off. You don't hear the compressor going on, do you? It's just hot in here, man. Yeah, Tessa, that makes sense. It sounds like something we would do. Actually, I don't know. It should be just on the fan. Oops. Nope. Nope. My finger slipped. It's on AC. Yeah, let's just put that on fans there. Yep. Okay. The power button's right next to the fan button. So sometimes you hit it and I hit both buttons because I have to like reach over for it. Nice. That's good. Shouldn't be loud now. Yeah, probably Flacken. Yeah, that's probably right. Anyway, enough with the drug references. Let's go. So, Elon was floating around on Twitter the other day, and let's read this thread. The Falcon 9 rocket has now flown more consecutive successful missions, 111, than any other orbit rocket in history. Huh. Did it get buried, Thomas? Give me 1 second. Huh. Huh. Made a little amendment to that, huh? Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Bruh.
Well, Kem, here's the funny part. Take a look at that. Learn something new, huh? Dunked on by the VP of Falcon launch vehicles at SpaceX. Oh, that's good. All right, anyway, let's see. Congratulations, SpaceX Falcon team. If things go well, Falcon will launch about once a week on average in 2022, delivering 2/3 of all payload to... Oh, please, please, please make that happen. How will that become with Starship? Starship is in a different league, orders of magnitude more mass to orbit than Falcon, necessary for creating self-sustaining city on Mars. Starship aspires to be the first fully reusable orbital launch vehicle, the holy grail of rocketry. That's correct. This is the critical breakthrough needed to make life multiplanetary. Please do it. When is the Starship presentation happening? Boom. Yeah, Bram, that makes me happy. Yeah, and it's funny because this all started with the next day I'll just tell it right. Oh, okay. After you got dunked on, boy. What's that, Swishio? Artist place a cube. That link isn't working for me. All right, let's see. Thursday next week at 8 p.m. Texas time. So we got a Starship meeting, which is cool. And then based off of that, RGV Ariel asked this: will there be a full stack for the presentation? Oh yeah, they weren't doing load tests for no reason, boys and girls. Oh, yeah. Jazos, well said. We are in for a treat, my guy. We're in for a freaking treat, bud. What's a full stack? Please hold. Now, what I'm about to show you has what a full stack is in it, but it's also a minute and 31 minutes. It's a minute and 31 seconds long, so we just have to watch the video. I'm sorry, like you see it at the end of the video. I can't skip to the very end. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. Turning it up. Turn it down just a little bit. Hell yeah, that's so cool. I didn't skip nothing. What's up, Just Face? That's a full stack, Blart. It's first and second stage on top of each other. If only they did a fire test with all 30 engines. Something tells me, Kim, that might be happening soon. Yeah, something tells me that might be happening very soon. Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna happen soon. I also saw that you skipped it. Restart? Alright. Right, Core? It looks so different now. Oh. flying through the smoke is the best. That's so cool. Damn. I agree, hand. Yeah, baby. Oh, that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. What is this song? In-house, Caden. It's just, yeah, somebody at SpaceX made this. The cherry pickers, I know, right? Oh, man. Yeah, so we got a Starship meeting in about a week. The 10th. At, what is it? So, did he say... So, 8 p.m. Central Time, so 9 p.m. Eastern. So that's going to be on... I'm going to go ahead... I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb here and say that next Thursday, guys, is, yeah, there's probably not going to be any games played after Space News. Hey, Stormy, 18-month resub. Could they do a cryo test of a full Starship stack before static fire on booster? I mean, Tomas, I would. That would probably be a good idea. Why is that? Because we're going to be talking about the damn presentation. Did we talk about the new potential carbon composite EUS? Yeah, we did, Vulcan. Yeah, we talked all about it. We even found the test stand, which has a vintage Saturn 1, the SAT Saturn 1 test article, intact, sitting next to it. I want it. All right, Rigaro. Hey, see you, man. Rigaro, you can ask me a question about space at any time. Anytime, dude. I appreciate you asking, but just put the question in chat next time, dude. But thank you for asking. I would say that fully reusable SSDO is the true holy grail of rocketry. Yeah. I just think fully reusable, Sordin. Yeah, anything fully reusable. But guys, it's funny because, you know, you think that reusable is the path that's going to work, and that's true to an extent. I agree with that. That's personally what I agree with. But personally, what I agree with doesn't mean that that's necessarily the case. You know what I mean? I want reusability. I think rockets should be like planes, and I think it's frankly absurd that it hasn't taken its natural hierarchy, you know, in like how we move stuff around. What does that mean? Like, can you imagine how much planes would suck if we stopped at making propeller planes and we never made jets? Like, it'd suck. Plane travel would be useless. Well, not useless, but if we only had propeller planes, that would be lame. That's basically where rockets stopped. Rockets basically had a teething phase from like 1945. Well, let's say 1940 to be really technical, to about the 70s, and then there was the space shuttle, and then there hasn't been much. I'm not going to say that there hadn't been innovation, because there absolutely has been. There's been fuel-rich stage combustion cycle. The Russians did the oxidizer-rich stage combustion cycle, but that's, once again, that's kind of part of that innovation. And then, yeah, there hasn't been much. There hasn't been much since, you know? Like, rockets are still expendable. We never made that jump to the next level. So, you know, I think it's absurd that we don't have a reusable rocket yet. It's 2022, for frick's sake, man. 2022. Like, all right. And I think 2022 in my mind, I'm thinking like flying cars and stuff, and like and like rockets flying into space, and a lunar colony and whatnot. You know, like the 80s were still 20 years ago, man. But I digress. So, you know, that's what I think. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the case. Economy of scale is what's going to beat this problem. Economies of scale. It doesn't matter if you make a lot of expendable rockets or a lot of reusable rockets. Don't get me wrong, a lot of reusable rockets can help you improve your flight rate, but if you make an expendable rocket and it's easy to produce, Astra, you could potentially beat this problem as well. The reality is that there's not one solution to this problem. Just like, for instance, propeller planes are ideas of the past. Does that mean there's no propeller planes flying around today? No. Expendable launch vehicles will always be around, and there will always be a need for them. There's always going to be a case use missiles for an expendable vehicle. The reality of the situation is that, guys, if we want to do like reusable upper stages and expendable first stages instead of reusable first stages and expendable upper stages, dude, you could attack that problem that way. Yeah, absolutely, it'd be great. You could do that way, sure. Yeah, that's the reality of the situation. Just high flight rate. High flight rate is going to get you there. Personally, if you want my opinion, which really doesn't matter because it's an opinion and we're talking about engineering here, I think reuse is the way to go. And I think the vast majority of people agree with me. And yeah, that guy also thinks that that's the right way to go. And you know what? He's a pretty smart dude. However, an expendable SRB first stage and a reusable liquid fuel second stage that doesn't come back down is also a really good idea. I just want Ares 1 back, man, okay? You could fit like 3 Falcon 9 upper stages inside of a Starship to bring them back down. Katra, I don't think 3. I would say 2 safely, but I would just start with 1. 1 is fine. With the high flight rate of Starship, they could bring the entire ISS down if they wanted to. In fact, I think they'd be stupid to not do that. Because it would be really nice. It would be really nice to get. It would be really nice to get modules that have been up in space for 20 years down and do a little bit of analysis on how they held up instead of just having them burn up in the atmosphere. Heck, guys. SpaceX has improved the propulsion game tenfold from just getting a first stage back. Think about this for a second. There's no other company, no other government, save for the space shuttle and Buran, right, have gotten their engines back. And not even Buran, to be sure. Like, the shuttle brought its upper stage engines back, and they got their first stage engines back after flight. But nobody has done anything like get a liquid fuel engine back from flight. Getting your first stage back like that and being able to reuse it and being able to examine the components. I mean, like I said, the space shuttle is the closest, right? Buran to an extent. Everybody just dumps their first stages in the water. Like, you can't go and get it. The engines are destroyed from the water impact, right? Look at the engines that Jeff Bezos fished out of the ocean, the F1 engines from Apollo 11. They were destroyed, right? So you couldn't really tell how the thing really fared in flight. But now the SpaceX has opened up the door for all different types of propulsion research, especially when it comes to reusable stuff, just because they got their first stages back. Because they got their first stages back and saw how the Merlins flew and how they handled flight dynamics, right? They made so many improvements based off of just that. It's crazy. They couldn't have, dude. They didn't even have to reuse a stage. They could have just kept launching expendable Falcons, and they would have been able to wring out the design and make it a lot better, just because they were getting them back. The fact that they actually reuse them and fly them again and stretch the design is like a double bonus. It's those rare 2 birds with 1 stone kind of scenarios, and that doesn't come by very often. Like, have your cake and eat it too with rocket science. That usually is not a thing. They're aiming for disposal in 2030, Mutter. Yeah. like I said, hopefully Starship is flying by then. It would be really nice to have that thing back down here. We take the international, the USOS, the operational segment, put it in the Smithsonian, and then the Zvezda, Zarya, Nauka, Poisk, Rasvet, put that at in Moscow at their Smithsonian. I think it's called like VDNH or something like that. Yeah, that would be really cool. So Starship, the only rocket who will get vacuum engines from space after launch, pretty much, Damas. I mean, the space shuttle. But yeah, space shuttle's the only upper stage to ever come back. Actually, the space shuttle is more like smart reuse for your upper stage. That's what I would call that. But think any of SN-15 engines will get reused before Mark II takes over? I don't know, Foz. But that's another important thing. You know what? You know what's crazy? This first picture that they showed in the Starbase montage. SN-15 is right there. That's SN-20, 15, and 16 right there. That thing is flown. That's a flown test article. I mean, it didn't fly very far. But that, like, I often forget that. I don't know about you guys. I forget that. That thing flew and landed. No, Edmena. No, they're not. They abandoned that idea. It's crazy. That's crazy to me. 15 is already flown. It's flown into space. Well, not into space. It's flown in the atmosphere. Let's put it that way. Anyway. So, we have a Starship meeting next week, and I think with that, we will go into the Starship video. Where do you see SLS upgrade path after going Block 2? Nuclear upper stage to replace the EUS? Well, Torlav, Boeing released a thing today about how they're going to do a carbon composite upper stage that could increase SLS's throw to in the 170-ton range, putting it on par with Ares 5, which means you could build Martian transfer vehicles with it. But yeah, ideally a nuclear third stage for SLS would be great for the moon. Not so much for Mars. It's not big enough. You need something like this. You'd need something like this, nuclear stage like that. But then again, the funny thing is that SLS with its 170-ton throw weight, you'd be able to put that into space, no problem. Does Starship need refueling while on orbit so it can handle the extra mass while landing with cargo? No. It has separate fueling tanks that are just for landing filler. It always has on it. So Starship could go up there, grab an ISS component, and come back down. It would not need to be refueled. Yeah, you wouldn't have to do that. Anyway. We have two NASA spaceflight videos here, but here I wanted to show you a picture from RGV Aerial first. He took some pictures of Booster 7, which is the next super heavy booster to be made. Booster 5 is sitting out in the field, and Booster 6 got scrapped. Booster 7 is a 33 engine configuration, and its grid fins are sitting out there. RGV took this picture of all the grid fins. Yeah, awesome. Hermes is cool. With that being said, let's jump into the NASA spaceflight videos here. This video is shot by Mary, Boca Chica gal, and Nick and Sweeney for NASA spaceflight. Guys, here comes the NSF plug. Seriously, go over there and sub to that YouTube channel, NASA spaceflight, just like this, on YouTube. You want to see this footage without me babbling over it? Go over there and give them a sub. They post this footage every day, daily updates to Boca Chica. And they were nice enough to let my stupid butt go and look at some of this and review it almost on the daily. So go over there, give them a sub, please. Subbing over there and supporting them helps me with what I do here. Thank you, Tessa. What is this, Hellfish? Yeah, something like that, Hellfish, yeah. Should make an NSF command. Yep. Alright, what are we moving here? Elevator parts? No. No. What does that say? Ship 22's Raceway. They're making the Raceway prefabricated segments now. Look at that. That's all the pipes that go up the side of the rocket for like pneumatic systems, electrical systems. I don't think there's any hydraulic on there. I think it's just pneumatic and electrical. Yeah, Thomas, look, they put it all on one carrier so they could make it into a subassembly. See this truss segment right there? It's all on one segment. I don't think that's on 20 or 21. It's prefamulated amulite, O-Force. Oh, man basket. Hang on. What kind of engine? Ford. It's too high pitched to be a Chevy. Chevy is a much deeper noise from an LS engine. Much deeper noise. That's definitely a Ford. Yeah, LT, which is LS drive. You know, it could be a Dodge too. Yeah, I guess. I'm gonna guess that's a Coyote engine. You can tell because of the way it is. They sound like that. And yes, the engines have distinctive pitches. The pitch of the engine depends on the header design, the exhaust header design, and the combustion chamber design. How the stuff flows through the combustion chamber denotes sound more than anything. That's why V8s sound like V8s, and V6s sound like V6s. Very easy to spot the difference. Yeah, resonators are always good, elements. Pitch is too high. That engine's rushing. Yep, also firing order. Yep. You can tell it's a Ford because it's running. Yeah, my guy, Karate. Hell yeah. I'm into that. And yet there's a GMC in the next shot. Man, that thing is big. Yeah, guy, you're in the clouds up there. And don't give me that nonsense. You can literally hear it move. Yeah, because GMC is there to tow the Ford out. The GMC is there to tow the Ford out when it gets stuck. Yeah, it's because the Ford is the thing that actually does work. GMC and Chevy, like usual, sit on the sidelines. Thank you for noticing. Yeah, they install that in one big subassembly. Is that 21 or 22, Thomas? Hold on. It's 22. Yeah. What happened to 21? Do I look like I know what an MSC is, Proceed? Alright. Internet, there's a cat. There's a cat, Internet. Go crazy. Do your thing. Yeah, pretty much, Tomas. Tesla. That leg skirt had the Can Crusher cap placed on it. Interesting. Cat tax paid. Yeah. See what I'm saying, dudes? I mean, first of all, I just want to point out the absurdity of this picture. First of all, just want to point out the absurdity of this picture. This picture looks like something out of a video game or something. So that's SN16. That one, the second Starship there, that's 15. 15 flew. 15 flew. That thing has flown and landed. That whole thing has been 40,000 feet that way. And then Booster 5 is sitting behind it. Yeah, Tessa, I agree. Welcome, Dr. Freeman, to Starbase 17. It's safer here. Did your Kerbal save leak into reality again? Yeah, I know, right? Other than Starship, are there any other rockets that are constructed and transported vertically? Solid rocket booster segments, Talon, are cast vertically and then shipped, well, they're shipped horizontally and then stacked vertically. I don't think so, dude. I'm sure there's a case. I'm sure now that I've said that, someone will come in and be like, well, this rocket did this once. And I actually don't know. I'm not sure. Not to my knowledge. Give me 1 second. Let me run through. So, this is horizontal. Atlas is horizontal. That's 2AS is horizontal. 3 is horizontal. I mean, the Saturn V did go through a vertical stacking program, but the Saturn V's first stage was moved horizontally on the barge, so... Well, we're talking like vertical basically the entire time, never taken horizontally. A Starship will get taken horizontally at some point. You have to, like, they're gonna have to at some point. They're gonna have to tilt this thing on its side to transport it around. Especially if they're going to be moving Starships to other sites. But then again, they could just hop them there maybe in the future. You don't know. Like, relativity is made vertical, yeah. Talon, that's a really good question. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Yeah, David, wouldn't it be? It has enough. It could hop to KSC. I'm pretty sure. I just don't think that... You know what, man? If this thing is designed to work as reliably as an airplane, then maybe in the future they'll just lob them around between launch sites. Like... My guess is in the beginning, though, they're going to have to take one of these horizontal if they want to move it to, like, KSC or something. But, dude, I don't know for sure. Like, that'd be hell on air traffic. It really would, Mutter. But then again, yeah, that would suck. You'd have to have a permanent NOTAM over the Cape, which kind of already exists, but also at Boca Chica, and then that, you know, people don't fly over the Gulf of Mexico ever, right? Like, that never happens. It's probably going to be cheaper and a little bit easier just to move it via barge, you know? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true, Tessa. Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. Seriously, though, this picture looks amazing. Especially with the rocket, with the low fog. It looks like the rockets are so tall it goes up into the clouds, which is cool. They could just make them in Florida. Yeah, well, Tomas, that's what I think they're doing. I'm pretty sure they're doing that. that Grove 7550 is a good. Interesting. They put it on the can crusher. Interesting. Yeah, of course the Chevy has to turn around. Didn't read the damn sign that they're doing a lift here. Oh no, I gotta turn around. Relativity, yeah, those guys are cool. I don't know anybody that works there, but I do like. I don't know anybody that works over at Relativity, at least I don't think I do. But I love, dude, the way the 3D printing rockets is a really smart idea. That's really, really, really smart. Really cool, actually. How come they build it outside? Doesn't nature take its toll on it? It's stainless steel, Mind Drive. Yes and no. And they manufacture it inside pretty much at this point, but yeah. Wind is the problem here. Yeah, stainless steel won't rust. Certain types of stainless steel corrode, or they do oxidize. It really depends on what alloy of stainless steel you're using. These ones, no, it's fine. You can just leave it outside. That and it's pretty dry in Texas. What they really have to worry about is the salty air from the ocean. There's a dome segment right there, or not a dome segment, the nose cone segment. So this is the area between the top of the methane tank and the nose cone. Nose cone would be up here. You can tell because of the swoosh tile marks. See that? What's that, Thomas? Remember how these were spotted near the cocoa facility? Well, they're no longer where they were. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Okay. All right. Those would have been used to transport Mark II to the Cape. No clue if they're scrap or what, but I can't find them on Google Maps anymore. Yeah. Looks a lot like what they put the fairings on. Yep. I hate that dumpster. Skate or die. Nice, Halsey. What year is it? I haven't heard anybody say that in years, man. So you see what's going on here? These guys are probably a good 200 feet up in the air. 20 stories up. Just thought I'd let you know. That's on top of the wide bay. Hey. Oh, yep. Moving it into position. Yep. Yeah, I think so, fed up. Guys, these are steel workers. This is steel working. Steel working is a trade. And yes, these guys make a lot of money doing this. I mean, I know what you're thinking. You'd have to pay me a lot of money to get up there and do that. That high up in the air. Well, there you go. Yeah, hazard pay, indeed. These guys make bank. Steel work is, yeah, you make money, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, people that are afraid of heights need not apply. Dude, trades, man, especially a specialized trade like this, like assembling buildings. These guys make bank. Crane operators make bank, especially if you're operating a big crane like this. Well, that's not a big crane. This biggie crane is not the biggest, but they're good cranes. Like these big lattice cranes, those guys make a lot of money. Oh yeah, I know a couple. So wait, what? Yep, steel work, welding, yeah, make a lot of money. Oh yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, you're gonna make a lot of money and you're gonna work for your money. But hey, some people like doing that. You know? It's a lot of physical work and it's hard. It's hard on you. Not gonna say that it's not, but you do make money. Crane operator must be stressful. Chem, I know a couple of the guys. I know a couple of guys that are operating the cranes on your screen. Like the exact cranes. I know them through a mutual viewer that watches the stream. I'm not going to say who or where. They're not even thinking about it, dude. It's just the job. What they're thinking about is just, okay, what do you need me to move? Where do you need me to move it? And they're thinking about how they're going to do that. You view the crane as kind of an extension of you. Like, at least that's what I've been told. So, would you do steel work? Sure, Gorthon. I'm not sure I could do it with my back, but yeah, sure, absolutely. If the stream wasn't successful, guys, I'll be honest with you. If the stream wasn't successful, I probably would have gone into a trade, and I would have used that to save up money. You know, that probably, yeah, that's what yeah, that's what I probably would have ended up doing. Not me, but a guy I know. No, you didn't. Hey, Louie. My friend lives right by Boca. That's cool, 5 rings. Hell yeah. Feel like EJ is an HVAC guy. My brother-in-law's, well, my future brother-in-law's an HVAC guy. Guys, my family's all trades. All of them. Like, my uncle's a general contractor. His son, my cousin, is a plumber. The other one is an HVAC guy. My future brother-in-law is an HVAC guy. My dad's a machinist. Like, my dad's brother, my other uncle on my dad's side of the family, he's a freaking mechanical engineer. Like, my dad's dad was a steam fitter at the shipyard. He was freaking trades. All trades. Like, my other cousin, I have another cousin that's a firefighter and freaking, yeah. Like, HVAC is, yeah, Springs HVAC. Are you as busy as my freaking brother-in-law is? My brother, dude, he works as much as I do. And he makes probably like double what I do. Streaming can be a trade, yeah, I guess. Yeah. Grandfather worked on one of the Iowas in the Philly Navy Yard. That's cool, Jim. Hell yeah. Louis, short visit? Yeah, no problem, no problem. And his dad threw some tea in the heart. My family wasn't here when that happened, Urban. Should have done the same thing, but no. Became a scientist. Yeah. Yeah. Stepdad's a retired firefighter. Yeah, man. Trades are cool. Dude, I was thinking about just going to like learning how to weld just as a side hustle for the stream. And also, it would make really good content for the stream. Like, you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I was thinking about doing that. That's not a bad idea. Dave, you're a Sparky? Nice. Oh, jeez, Jim. So I was like, I support that idea. That's right. I mean, guys, shameless plug for the trades. You don't need to go get an aerospace engineering degree to work on rockets. I mean, these guys are steel workers, but they still need guys to build the engines. You need guys to build the pad. How awesome would it be to be a contractor to build a freaking launch pad? That's cool. All the electrical systems, all the pneumatic systems, all the hydraulic systems, commodity movement systems, heat exchangers. Dude, there's industrial HVAC guys that are probably making bank off of SpaceX from building the tank farm. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Also, man basket. That's right. That's right, Jim. And you know what Debo does now, Jim? He's a crane operator. Funny how that works. There you go, EG. Yeah, all right, right on. Yeah, trades are good. It's a lot of work, but it's fun. My father has a shop, but for all his specialized welds, he sends it to a guy in Florida. The guy charged $800 an hour. Believe it? Yeah, I build rockets. It ain't much, but it's honest work. I don't know about you, Kem. I like, and you see it the way I play games, I like being able to see our tangible success. Like, when I build stuff in Satisfactory, we make those pipeline arrays. That just makes me happy. Like, it's like, look, we built that. Look at that thing. We freaking built that. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. It's a really, really fulfilling feeling, man. Oh, there you go, Dave. Yeah, that's true. There you go, Dredd. Look, you see this? I built this. You built this? I built this. Does this count as 2 guys working, 1 guy, 2 other guys like hanging around doing, even though they're up on the lifts? You see Elon tweet saying that he could achieve 330 bar on the Raptors. I did. Yeah, Jim, that's pretty rad. Yeah, Zenton, right. Yeah, all the pickup trucks. That's how you know it's a bunch of tradesmen. Yeah, Shaw, me too. Me too. You could still do it. Probably pay off your student loan debt a lot faster that way. I mean, don't get me wrong, you gotta get up and work every day, but whatever, man. That's fulfilling. Like, imagine being these guys. Like, yeah, I installed that segment today. Probably get some pretty good satisfaction from that, I'm not gonna lie. Psycho, your dad was a union millwright. I work at software and envy him some days because when he went home, he built something that he could point to. Yeah, Psycho, that's what I mean. Software is all fine and dandy, and don't get me wrong, I respect the hell out of software engineers. But there's software engineering, and then there's doing that. That's cool. Like, those guys would say, like, look, I built that, dude. I built that. Yeah, lols, we talked about it. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm a 3D artist by trade. I know exactly what you mean. And my dad's a machinist, you know? Like, nice, Ghost One. That's cool. Yeah, Gorthon, I'm with you on that. I'm with you. Can you imagine being the guy that's putting this thing together? Like, oh, dude, that must be such a good feeling. Is that a mid bay? They're building the wide bay, which is basically 2 high bays together. There you go, Dread, right? Yeah, Shaw, I'm kind of with you on that one. Could get a lot more work done if I knew how to weld on my cars. And then we could do some really cool stuff. Dude, if I learned how to weld and could do it good, the stuff that I can make in Kerbal, we could make in real life, no problem. Yeah, that wouldn't be too hard. I mean, metal fabrication is just like working in 3D. Same thing. In fact, a lot of 3D processes are modeled after machining things. Why? Because the first CAD programs were designed for machine automation. True story. I have a stick welder. At my folks' house. We should probably get to it. Used to take a train and work in my hometown that crossed multiple bridges and tunnels my great-grandfather built. It's like I was getting satisfaction from his hard work 100 years later. That's cool, man. Yeah, Goran, yeah. There's something to be said about that. Double, I have a Harbor Freight 110 welder. Someone say CAD? Yes. Cardboard-aided design. No, computer-aided design, not cardboard. That's cool, simulated. Hell yeah. Done a little MIG welding, nothing crazy though. Yep. Yeah, DCE, pretty much. Welding is one of those practice makes perfect things. Like drawing, same thing. It's just, you have to get the sleight of hand for it. It just takes practice. Yeah, there you go, Orion, yep. There's ship 20. What are we doing here? Huh. It's stainless steel, Rockton. Those grid fins are not titanium. Those grid fins are steel. And the rocket is stainless, sorry. Maybe, Zonic, I'm not sure. Why is that so loud? Damn, NSF, you crazy. How old is this footage? 2 days ago. And now here was yesterday's video. Let's see. Once again, NASA spaceflight footage. NASA spaceflight YouTube. Go over there. Give them a sub. Trust me. You won't regret it. Hey Ren, what's good, man? How you doing? Thank you, Thomas. So guys, I mean, Elon said that there's going to be a full stack for this thing for the Starship presentation that they're going to do on Thursday night next week. So if there's going to be a full stack, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw them moving super heavy over it, booster number 4 over to this thing now. Huh. Well, hey, look at this. Somebody asked me about this the other day, that there were gaps in between here. And I said, I don't think it would be that big of a deal, but apparently it is. They welded plates over the gaps. Just trapped inside with all this snow. Oh, jeez, Ren. Yeah, you're telling me, dude. We got about 2 feet. It's going away, but yeah, we're gonna get nailed again. Yeah, Lemprod, Starship update next Thursday, 9 Eastern. That's per Elon right on Twitter. He just tweeted that like a couple hours ago. Oh, look. Bolshoi Chunguska has moved to a Super Heavy. SpaceX still working on Falcon Heavy. They're not working on it. It's just another thing that flies, Coltec. The next Falcon Heavy flight is USSF 44. So Space Force. Is it USSF 4 or 44? Either. Oh, there's the load spreader. They're waiting on the payload. The payload is delayed. That Falcon Heavy's been ready since last summer. It's so it's the S44 or SF44 mission. Yeah, that's been ready. That Falcon Heavy booster's been sitting in 39A for a long time. From the Gulf with love. Enjoy the snow. I don't want this, but whatever. It's snow. We'll deal with it. So that's the jig that they use to hook the crane hooks into Super Heavy. You can see the two loops right here loop on to the catch points for Heavy, Super Heavy. See them up there? See the catch point? That loops on to that right there. Those are supposedly the points that it will land on. So I suppose if they could pick it up with the crane and it holds the booster up just fine, but double drone ship landing, expended core, direct to geo. Cool. You're always walking by. I know. I like being that guy. Yep, just bring it over here. I'm almost to the top. All right. Okay. I'll be going to Florida next month, hoping to catch a launch. Hell yeah, Ren. There you go. Cool, man. Oh, they hooked her up. Interesting. Oh. Are they gonna lift? Wait, did they lift this? How is that guy cool with that thing swaying like that? I mean, keep in mind, this footage is sped up, but how is that guy okay with that, man? So will Falcon Heavy retire once Starship is up and running, or will Heavy still be needed? Falcon will retire once Starship is up and running. We know that Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy, though, Gorthon, are going to be relevant, at least out until 2028. That's when the last contracted mission for Falcon 9 or Falcon Heavy is. It's in 2028. I'd puke. No, I'm with you. You learn to work with it pretty quickly? Right on. There's the methane tanks. Yeah, there you go. Thank you for your answer. No problem, Dorthan. You got that Grove crane. Bon, I'm guessing that they could. I'm guessing the grid fins can hold the weight, but I don't know for sure. Yeah, Jim. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one. It's not that noticeable when you're up there and focused on what you're doing. Interesting. Oh, I actually like that Chevy flatbed. That thing was actually pretty cool. Other than the sunset launch, watching that thing flip around and land was one of the coolest 2 launches I've ever seen. Yeah, rings. Yeah, we ain't gonna get footage. Like, that's been probably some of the nicest footage we've seen in a while. It was really cool. Now that's a walk. Oh man, imagine all the stir fry you could make in this thing. Yeah, Chaos, right? The stand GSE4 was tested on was moved back to the production area today. Oh, I got you. Oh, the guy's hitting it with the, what is it, is it an angle grinder? Or, oh, no, plasma cutter. See, the guy's holding the briefcase. Plasma cutter. Hang on a second, fellas. What's all this residue in here? That looks like carbon, but it can't be. It was full of water. I thought it was full of liquid nitrogen. That looks like carbon. It's slag from the cutting torch? Yeah, Wefrel, yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. It was, yeah, because it's full of nitrogen. I'm like, that looks like RP1 residue, which is kind of like burnt RP1 residue. Oh, we'll see. We'll see if the guy... Oh, jeez. Okay. We'll see if the guy goes to... Okay. Oh, man. Oh, this poor thing. Oh, God. Oh, he's peeling it like a banana. You're killing it. Stop it. Oh, my God. It's just a test article, but, man, is this hard to watch or what? It's a blooming onion starship. There's Hoppy. Feeling it like a hand banana. A real lightsaber. Yeah, true. Ah, they took the second one off. Interesting. Nitrogen. The second RCS thruster is with Mizawa. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know, Chaos, right? Yeah, there's a... Yeah, dude. There is a lot of stuff bolted to this thing. Look at it. That's a Falcon 9 RCS block, guys. They had 2 of them on here. It's the most ghetto police surveillance van I've ever seen. Yeah, cowboy hard hat. Word. The Stetson hard hat is pretty damn cool. Tori Bruno has one like that. Yeah, Falcon 9 parts right there. Yeah, Cam, right. Yeah, look at that thing. That wide bay is huge, man. Over time, do you think Starship will start to look like Hopper, or will Starship be better maintained? That's a good question. I think it's gonna be better maintained. Hoppy has been sitting out in the field for a long time. It'll probably be a little better maintained than this, but I will admit it would be kind of cool seeing one of these things, seeing a starship like, that's dirty, like Falcon 9, like flying around, right? That'd be kind of neat. That's pretty neat. So cool that you can build these hangars so easily. The weather allows you to make it light as possible. Yeah, yep. Yeah, it doesn't get too incredibly cold down there, Kim. Yeah, Smirks, I'm willing to bet there's probably going to be some type of payload integration facility, but who knows? I agree. Yeah, way too early for that. Man, that's a long way up. Per the FAA document, it would be somewhere near the production site. Yeah. But I mean, SN-15 and SN-16 have been sitting out there for a while. They don't look in that bad a condition, huh? That's a weird picture. All the lifts going up and down and swaying and stuff. That's very strange. What the frick? The front of 21 looks amazing, Skogs. Yeah, no, you're not kidding. That looks awesome. I think Core Space in chat said this the other day. I think that's going on top of 22 if you really want my opinion, because they kept working on this thing, but they stopped working on the 21 aft section. I think this is going to be conjoined like a YF-12. Unknown. I don't think SpaceX even knows that yet, Gorthon, to be honest. I take it that the tiles are much more easier to maintain than the shuttle. They're not glued on. They're only glued on in some areas simulated. These tiles are bolted on. So yeah, you can afford to bolt tiles if you make it out of stainless steel and not aluminum. Because think about it, every time the shuttle went through re-entry, they couldn't do a bolt-on tile with the shuttle. Every tile had to be glued. Because when the shuttle goes through re-entry, because it's aircraft grade aluminum, that it heats up, and the aluminum, when it heats up, it warps a little bit. Stuff deforms just a little bit, and if they would have tried to bolt the shuttle tile on, it would have deformed, and the tile would have popped off. That's why they glued them. Heck, they glued them, and they didn't even get the glue mixture right away. It popped off. They still popped off. They had to get that mixture right. But because the shuttle was made out of it's an aluminum chassis, they had to glue them. SpaceX with stainless, you can bolt the tiles, but SpaceX's thermal protection system is a little bit different than the shuttle. They both use tiles, but the shuttle is using a silica-based tiles. The Starship uses a tough and unifibrous reinforced oxidation resistant carbon composite. Tough Rock is what it's called. So it's a fibrous carbon thing. It's like I'm gonna say carbon fiber, but it's not. It's unifibrous, so it's not carbon fiber, but it's kind of like that. And then they have a cilia backing plate or cilia backing blanket. That's that white blanket that's behind the tile that makes it look like an Oreo. So Starship's tiles are a little bit different. So yeah, I don't think they'll pop off like the shuttle. I don't think that's gonna happen. These ones won't pop off as much because of the stainless, but we don't know how they'll pop off, if they won't. We don't know if that's gonna happen or not. Like an emulsified forged carbon, kind of, Dread, yeah, pretty much. Like the acronym once again: toughened unifibrous, reinforced oxidation resistant composite. So tough rock is what it's called. The X37 uses tough rock tiles, and those tiles don't pop off. Here's a door, by the way. You have a photographic memory for sure. I don't know why remembering an acronym would do that, but alright. Rolls off the tongue. Such a weird picture. Nice house, though. Wait a minute. No one's been watering the plants. They're wilting. Photographic doesn't mean photos. But it's in the name. Nobody's watering the plants. Somebody's cutting the lawn though, but no one's watering the plants. Those plants are wilting. They need water. I thought you hated nature. What? That roof is shaped for snow. It does look like it, huh? Yeah, with Spanish tiles. Oh, got the treads up a little bit. He's digging. They're doing something here with concrete. They're digging up dirt right there for the concrete. Oh yeah, look, there it is, Thomas. Huh. Right, Firework? How many starships do you think they have there now? 2? Well, there's SN15, flown test article. 16, unflown test article. There's 20, which is the build site. It's at the build site. That's the one that's sitting by the pad. And then there's 21, the aft segment they just put out in the field. They put it out to pasture chem. 21's nose, we just saw it a second ago. 22's aft section is being worked on. And 22's nose cone was used for the cargo door prototype. So I mean, let's see. 15, 16, 20, and 21. So they have 4 right now. Finished ones, 15 and 16. 15, 16, and 20, so there's 3. 3.5 if you want to count 22. I think they're going to take 21's front and put it on the 22's back segment because they changed the umbilical around. See, 21 segment is over there on the left. 22 is in the mid bay. Thing is that 22 still has the old umbilical location. Interesting. 24 has the change location. It's very strange. See the white behind the tiles right there? That's a cilia backer. So it's like fiberglass, but with metal. There's strands of metal that finally woven together into a blanket. I know, it sounds ridiculous, because it kind of is. Cilia fibrous cloth is very weird. It's like a fire blanket almost. At least that's what I think it is. I don't know if it's that for sure. I want to be clear. See the white right there behind the tiles? Also, I've noticed that Starship tiles are a lot thinner than Shuttle tiles. They're about a quarter of the Now, maybe about half the thickness of the shuttle tiles, if I'm looking at that right. Or maybe it's just felt. Maybe it's just felt. Maybe it's just felt. Sorry, that's funny to me. I was just talking about it and they zoomed in on the footage zoomed in on something. Oh, it needs felt right here. Maybe it's just felt. I don't know. And there's Austin doing his thing. I think it's just their nickname, Jim. There's some rumors out there that Booster 4 not doing anything but fit checks with Ship 20 having an unknown future but not flight. But like with everything Starbase, who even knows? Yep. So are those actually bolted on? Mutter, are you familiar with how you would pull a dent out of a car? Where you have a stud welder? You know what I'm talking about? So you have a welder that basically takes a metal surface, and you have a gun that has a cartridge, and that cartridge is just metal, right? And you put the gun with the cartridge inside of it up, and then it spot welds that cartridge. It's a stud welder. That's what it's called. SpaceX making those tiles. Yes, Sniper, they do make them. I agree, Jim. Yeah, that's what I've been saying. So, think whatever I think they clip on, to be honest, like Legos almost. They stud weld the attachment in place on the stainless steel. Yeah, here I can show you. Please hold. See those three right there? They just stud weld them, basically. Whatever this clip is, a machine just to make sure they get the spacing right and whatnot. Wouldn't it be more like a self-tapping? I don't know. Maybe. The tile to the stud. Yeah, it's a clip from what I can tell. It's almost like a Clico, dude. It almost looks like a Clico, but I don't think it's a Clico. I'm pretty sure it's not. I just like saying Clico. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's correct, Thor. No supersonic retro propulsion. Can you talk about why they won't use a control burn? They don't need to. Because it's stainless steel ring, it can withstand a little bit more heat. Oh man, I didn't even notice those cracked tiles. Clico! They're clipped. Yep. They're clipped on. They can just pop them into place. And SpaceX does manufacture these. The slurry that they use to make the tiles, the unifibrous slurry, is made at the old Mark II production site in Florida, Sidco Road, near Cape Canaveral. They use that building for making the slurry that makes these tiles. Also like saying slurry. Slurry. Talk about why they won't use a control burn on re-entry to move the plasma out of the way, or similar to the stage of the rocket. Well, okay, so if you're talking about Starship, you're talking about doing supersonic retropropulsion all the way down from orbit. Honestly, so it's kind of a either or. It's pretty easy equation to come up with, Rings. So like, okay, you want to use supersonic retropropulsion all the way down. That's doable. You can do that, sure. So how much fuel do you need to be able to do an extra 30-second burn with Starship? Gonna need a lot of fuel to do that. 30 seconds is a lot of time. Gotta remember, a minute burn for a rocket is 1/8 of the way into space. That's a lot of delta V. So does the amount of weight the amount of mass that extra fuel is going to be to get you back down to the surface, plus the landing burn fuel, right, which you would have been carrying anyway. Does the mass of that fuel, which is lighter, the mass of that fuel or the tiles? I think the tiles are a little bit of a lighter solution considering they do the exact same thing. Is it as complicated? Is it more complicated? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the tiles are a little more complicated, but then again, supersonic retropropulsion was never designed to be incorporated for a super long period of time. Supersonic retropropulsion is designed to work in the upper atmosphere. That's why Falcon only does it up there. You'd have to do it for a really long time. I'm not sure that the effects of doing a long-term retropropulsive burn at hypersonic speeds has been really well documented. So I honestly think it just comes back to just the tiles. Tiles, we know how those work. We know that the tiles are a good solution. Everybody thinks the shuttle's tiles fell off. No, they fell off sometimes, but there's never really a problem the tiles coming off unless they were hit by something. And even then, tiles in certain scenarios were only hit and the shuttle lost some tiles and came back. In other scenarios, other parts of the thermal protection system on the shuttle was hit that weren't the tiles, and it didn't come back. So the tiles, I don't think, were ever really the problem with the space shuttle. I think it was really more down to debris hits on the way up, which Starship doesn't need to worry about because it's not riding next to an external tank. It is the external tank, so to speak. You know? So, yeah, I don't think they'll have... I think that the tiles are a much simpler solution, honestly, because it's well documented. It's simpler because we know about it. It is a more complicated thing, but it's a more complicated thing that we know more about than a potentially simple solution that we don't know a lot about. The name of the game in rocket science is going with what you know. But just a thought. I don't know. Yeah, because they were glued on, Kim. That's the other thing why the bolt-on mechanical system is better, because you know a tile pops out. All right, put another one on. We're good to go. You know SpaceX designed it to be easily fixed. Like, if they didn't design it to be easily fixed, I'd be really concerned. Like, I would be a little amazed that they didn't think about that, especially with the shuttle, but I don't think that's how it'd be. I don't think it's how it'd be, but it do, you know what I mean? Starship is just a space shuttle with the orange tank fused. Yeah, the space shuttle and the ET are the same thing. Why don't they put tiles on stage 1? Now, that's what I originally answered for your question. Stage 1 doesn't need it. It's stainless steel. It's not aluminum like Falcon 9, so you don't need to do a retropropulsive burn. Stainless steel can absorb like 4 or 5 times more heat than aluminum can before it starts to really get pissed off. It's steel, man. You know? It'll get pissed off after, what is it, guys? Like, I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to guess. I know that the melting point for stainless steel is way higher than aluminum. That's for sure. So because it's made out of stainless steel, you don't need to do a retropropulsive burn. It doesn't need to be done. If replacing these tiles will take a day or less, then it's a great design. Agreed. $14.50. Yep. All right. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it that's going to do it for space news. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed the analysis and everything. Let's jump in. Do you guys hear that?